Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. So go so the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us on your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fun eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms and feeling so charmed. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. And now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes are killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger. We look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
So the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep tearing in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. One beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'ma go over the Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace of her presents and gifts, call me Santa Claus. I make her heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and culture, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing
touching and kissing, make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Man of prestige. Ha! Now this guy win. Now you win. Now you win today. Now you win. Now you win. I agree. Man of prestige. Now man you be.
I'm sure some people will be jealous now the way I talk about Ola. But I have learned a lot from him. That's why I keep telling you to follow him. If you don't follow Man of Prestige, now you know.
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen of Prestige? How are you doing? Chidima Alpha, we're live. Shout out to you, Natu. Welcome back. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, share, follow, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we're going live. Let's use the like button to ping everybody else into the room. It is kind of late. I think today will be the last day that I will do the 7 p.m. stuff. Tomorrow, inshallah, by the grace of God, we'll be back to our normal 5 p.m. Prestige hour, happy hour. We've kind of wrapped up whatever we had going on. So shout out to you all for being here. Shout out to all my sponsors. I miss you all. Shout out to Mo Fresh, Life with Natu, Adesua, Film Girl, Open Floor by Tima, Gorex Corner, D Love, Yes TV. And let me check out how we did last month. Our goal last month was $200. Let me see how we did. Let's see, April. Wow. By the way, happy May to you. Happy May. Wow, $338.84 we did last month. So let's set a goal. Somebody help me here. Let's set a goal. I have like some little small algorithm that I use to set the goals based off of past history. But let me hear from the chat. What should be the goal for May? Right? We did $338 last month. It was supposed to be, the goal was $200. What should we make it? This is what we had last month on the screen. I'm going to change that in real time. If you help me here set this goal, let's change this goal in real time right now. All right, shout out to my sponsors. So we did $338 and let me see, April last show, blah blah blah, 338 and 84. Is that what I said? I think so. Let me check. Yep, 338.84. All right, and yes, you can sponsor our shows for as low as 99 cents. Okay, for as low as 99 cents you can sponsor any show, and it's very simple. Okay, if I said anything or you had a moment that you felt like a profound moment, I learned something, right? You just drop 99 cents, $1 or more to help us support the platform and the mission. So I'm looking, help me out now, help me set a goal now. What should be the goal for May? I'm setting it up right now so we can use that all the time. Instead of me coming up with what the numbers are, you guys can help me. Help me. Can you guys hear me, by the way? Let me make sure you guys can help me. Can you hear me? Don't be shy. Why shall I shy? Tell me, what should be the goal for May 2024? Help me. And let's ping everybody else into the room. Hit the like button. I don't know what's going on. Somebody also help me share the link. I can actually do that, I think, inside of the group. In the group, we're live. We're on our day. Join the show. Don't do me like that. Join the show. We're live. I'm here with you guys now, so let's do justice. So what should be the goal? I'm gonna keep that right there while we're waiting. Okay, what should be the goal for the month? Now I do have, what we do here is we talk about life and relationships. We extract life and relationship lessons from trendy topics. Okay, so today I have about 4 of them for you. From trendy topics, we extract them particularly from a self-power, social, seduction, attraction, and emotional intelligence standpoint. Okay. If you notice, there is no mathematics, there's no physics in there, there's no there's no chemistry, biology. It is, but in a different type of way. Okay, we kind of dig a little bit deeper into the nature of human beings. Okay, particularly at an emotional level. So you can download my books for free. Okay, right now you can download these 2 books for free. We're going to focus on these 2 books since that's what we do on this platform. Get My Marriage Back. If you feel like you're in a broken marriage, this is a good book for you. If you are dating and you want to learn about number 1 red flag, or you want to at least gain the knowledge so you can drop it, drop gems into other people in terms of red flags, this is also a good book for that. And all of these books you can find for free. Okay, this is our newest book, number 1 red flag. You can find them for free at manofprestige.com. Right now, as I'm talking, you will still see access to 3 other books, my business stuff, but we're going to separate that. Let's focus on relationships here, okay? Since that's what we're known for here, okay? So just go to manofprestige.com, and we also offer coaching, okay? You can book through that same link. You can book a free complimentary session just to make sure that our program is a fit for your situation. And also you can send an email to ask@manofprestige.com. Yeah. All right. So nobody's trying to help me set the goals. Okay, we'll go back to what we do normally. If it ain't broke, there's no need to fix it, right? But we will set the goal on the next show. I will set a goal. Okay. All right. So for now, let's just leave it at that. Now we have some stories to cover today. About 4 different stories to cover. And I think you're going to learn, as always, you're going to learn 1 or 2 things, okay? But let's use the chat. Engage me. Thank you. Engage me. Natu, I trust Natu. Natu said $300. All right, let's keep that. I'm going to pin that just in case. I'll pin that, By the end of the show, we'll choose a number, okay? All right, without any further ado, like I said, we have a fantastic show lined up for you today. I'm going to take my time, not too much time, but I'll take my time because I'm back. Okay, I'm back. I've been going in and out for like straight 2 months, and we're back to do this properly. Okay. All right. Yeah, we've got a good show today. I'll be back. Yeah, check out this first segment. See you in a minute.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One loving up, we done enough.
All right. Expectations, Pastor Mildred. If you're in the backstage, you've seen us talk about this. Well, I want us to do a quick reminder segment on expectations. All right. So I'm going to play a small video by Pastor Mildred, the wife of Pastor Kingsley-Okonkowo, 30 years marriage counselor, coach, pastor in Nigeria. They are also the daddy Gio and the mommy Gio of a church called DCC, I think. I think it's DCC, something like that. But anyway, I don't need all that introduction. I'm just trying to open the page. Hold on 1 second. Boom, there you go. There you go. Yay. Hold on 1 second. Wait. Okay, I think I have it. Okay. All right, so I have this video that I want us to play, and then we'll talk right after, if that's okay. All right. Let's shout out to Pastor Mildred. She was very nice in my encounter with the show they had in Staten Island, where I was able to volunteer courtesy of Natu. So let me see. Okay, there we go. There you go. So I'm gonna play this, and then we'll talk about. Let's talk about expectations. Let's do every now and then we have to do a little bit of reminder when it comes to some of this stuff. So let's do it.
Honestly, I thought that every morning my husband would wake me up with a kiss and say, "Sunshine, good morning." Now my expectation and your expectation. So I had expectation, just that it was cut short. You wake up in the morning, just pass. And no, the normal approach would be, how can you just see somebody in the morning, you won't say good morning? What's the problem? But I started greeting him. God just said, do whatever you see want your partner to do for you. Take the initiative and do it for them. And so I wake up in the morning and I say, good morning, honey. He was sometimes, I walk past. Or, and I kept doing this. So one morning he woke up and said to me, good morning, baby, and kissed me on the forehead. I say, this thing, they work. So if it worked with that, then it worked with money. I found out that that's the secret for him. So you may need to be a bit more patient and then take the initiative and show the person. Don't always make it about fighting and shouting. However, if you're one of those people who think that if I correct my wife, she will cry, that's why I don't like correcting her. It's dangerous even for her. Cry, no, they kill anybody. She cry, she'll clean her eye. Eye where they cry, they see road, she will do the right thing.
Interesting. Okay, so apparently they are coming back to Edmonton. All right, so
honestly, I thought that every
hold
morning
on 1 second.
My husband would wake me up with a kiss and say.
So she thought that every morning that her husband would wake her up with a kiss, like every morning, right? So everyone have, like most women especially, have their own different versions of that similar type of expectations. Now it's very easy to pick on that. Well, you have your own expectations too, right? It might not just be a kiss, but everyone had something they fantasized about, what they thought marriage was supposed to be like, and then everyone has something like that, and then you get to a point you realize that it's not exactly what you thought it would be, right? So our own was a kiss on the forehead in the morning. Let's keep going.
Say, sunshine, good morning. Now my expectation and your expectation. So I had expectation, just that it was cut short. You wake up in the morning, just pass. And no,
So people, I've heard people try to preach and say, hey, remove all that expectation. I'm like, no, like, what do you mean remove the expectation? That's unrealistic expectations on its own. We can't remove expectations. Some of these expectations are deeply rooted. They have been pre-programmed into your brain, the way you were raised, what kind of TV shows you were watching growing up, what kind of magazines you were watching, right? All of us have some kind of expectations that will get cut short when reality kicks in someday, right? So asking people to remove that is unrealistic expectations on its own. So what is the solution then? Let's keep going. Hold on 1 second.
Normal approach would be, how can you just see somebody in the morning, you won't say good morning? What's the problem?
How can you see somebody in the morning and not say good morning? Depends on how you were raised. If a bunch of boys sleeping in the same room on the bunkers, there's 2 bunkers in the same room, there's about 5 of them. 2 people sleep on one, and then one person sleep on the other ones, and somebody sleep on the floor, right? And when they wake up in the morning, they're brushing teeth, everybody is grumpy. There's one of them that's not really a morning person. There's 3 of them that's really not any time of the day person. Everybody they just do what they have to do, and then they go their separate ways to schools, right? Some people go to school with their siblings. When they're in school, they don't talk to their sibling throughout the school day. Wasn't that you? That wasn't you. So my boy, your own family is a little different. You guys were poor. She said, good morning, sister. I don't know if that's how they raised you, right? Right? So now when you get married, you have that same expectation, and then he shocked you. Let's keep going.
I started greeting him. God just said, do whatever you see want your partner to do for you. Take the initiative and do it for them. And so
take the initiative and do it for them. The spirit is telling me right now. Somebody is asking, what if you keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and they never budge? That's a good question, but let's keep going. Hold on.
I wake up in the morning and I say, good morning, honey. He was sometimes I walk past.
Like, what's wrong with this? That's weird. Like, good morning, okay. Sounds like it's not really a morning person. It's like,
well, and I kept doing this. So one morning he woke up and said to me, good morning, baby, and kissed me on the forehead.
Oh,
I say, this thing, they work.
All right, so now there's more to this. Let me see. Somebody is saying something. Chidima says realistic versus unrealistic expectation. Managing your expectations. Yes, that's one half of it, right? That's one half of it. I'm going to give you the second half here in a second. Managing your expectations is one half of it. But Again, this is a reminder. If you've listened to me long enough, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Somebody said, what if you simply just tell him that this is my expectations in the morning? Okay, so let's do some quick exercise. Let's use this person's example here. Okay, this person says, what if you simply just tell him that this is, some of you have experience, okay, some of you are still inside of that marriage, right? Tell me what that looks like. You go to say, hey, my expectations is that when you take this book, you put it where it belongs. You put it back. Okay. When you take my spoon, you put it this way. When you wake up in the morning, my expectation is that you say, good morning, sunshine, and you kiss me on the forehead. How do you think that's gonna play out? Anybody, please in the chat. As a matter of fact, anybody, please, let's engage this conversation. We're in class. Tell me, realistic. Think about it deeply. You have my permission to be realistic. Okay. How do you think that's going to play out? If you're like, babe, my normal life. I'm not talking about your textbook. I'm not talking about what your therapist taught you. Okay. I'm talking about normal life. You've tried something like this in the past. They told you to communicate. You communicated. How did it work out? Okay. I'm sure it worked out. They said, yes, baby, that makes sense, right? How long did it last after it worked out? How long did it last? Let's just be honest. Be a truth teller today. Be a truth teller today and save yourself. Okay. How long did it work? Let me make sure I pin that to the top. How long did it work? I'm waiting. I'm coming to the chat. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. All right, good. Let me do one more thing before we continue the show. Keep dropping it. I'm coming to the chat in a second. How long did it work? I know it worked for you. You're a special type of person. Your partner was so special. When you communicate, they just hear it, right? They just hear you when you communicate. You don't have to stress it. Nothing. They just hear your spirits. They're like, we are aligned. Match made in heaven. Soul ties. Our soulmates fell out of the skies together on different birthdays. How long did it last is the question that I have for you today. Hit the like button. Let me come to the chat now. Thank you. All right. AG Ohio says, waiting you love, no be wanting I want to. I had my expectation. We all had expectations, all right? And like Chindima already said, my advice with regards to your expectation is manage them. Like you manage your regular job, manage your expectation. Okay, don't come and be putting unrealistic expectations on marriage. Like marriage is a human being. The same thing you do at your job, do it when it comes to that marriage. Manage your expectations. Okay. Chidima says it will end in the quarter. Precisely. Okay. Most of the time. Right. No, you communicated quite all right. You said, hey, my expectation is you kiss me in the forehead. Okay. Some of us think we're wiser than Auntie Mildred Okonkowo, right? That, obviously what she did will take patience. It's not like, hey, I'm just going to say good morning to you today and tomorrow it will just work. Obviously, that's not how it worked, right? Life will not say, it depends on what. Some last and some don't. Let's focus on this kiss in the forehead one. Let's use something like that or something similar to that. Something that you know that this guy who you said hello to in the morning and he just look at you like this, like that guy is not going to be. It's not going to be as simple, right? It's not that one. Is even if he eventually worked like the, because I believe her that he worked eventually, right? But it's not going to be. Yeah, it's going to test your patience, right? Because remember his expectations. So now a little small resentment is holding, because how can somebody just wake? Remember what she said? How can somebody just wake up in the morning and not greet? Maybe she wasn't raised that way. Okay. Hey, Bao. An insensitive, unromantic man might laugh at your expectation or find it unnecessary. Here I was like, Remember, we're not even talking about the kiss. That's just our expectation in our head. But she's now saying just greetings, just normal greetings, right? And she said good morning. At first, he was like, okay, I guess good morning. We just woke up in the same bed. Why are you saying good morning? Some of us were raised that way. If you were not raised that way, some of us were. We just woke up in the same bed. We're looking good morning. That's literally how a lot of people do it. They're looking at you like you're weird. Why are you good morning me? Like, they don't mind a kiss. If you want to kiss, come and kiss me, right? But we just woke up. I'm grumpy. Like, I'm about to brush my teeth and see about what's going on the rest of the day, right? But you in your head, you're thinking Nollywood movie. You're thinking around Noah and Genevieve. Right? And there's nothing wrong with you. Remember, this conversation is not about something is wrong with that. It's about realizing, first of all, that's expectations. That's your own expectation. Your own. Remember when she said, is it your expectation? It's mine, right? It's your expectation, right? The problem comes when you're trying to carbon copy paste it over another person. There's nothing wrong with you. I'm just saying, this is probably how you're going to do everything else that has to do with expectations, right? And that can create problems. That can create friction. It has to be what has been common in the relationship. If not, you will be disappointed. Has to be the norm. Right. Now, she did give us a solution that I want us to explore, right? I want us to explore. I think that solution is effective, but I think it's effective if you have proper expectations around what that process looks like. Because the way she said it is like, and I know she didn't mean that, she was just preaching, right? The way she said it is like, I just give, and then on the following day he gave back. No, that's not how it worked. She probably had a lot of frustrating moments before it eventually kind of like I think my wife loves when I do this. It might have been a part of a conversation. It might take him a while to come to that understanding that she loves to get this. It's probably going to create awkward moment for him, because remember, that's not how he's programmed, right? What's awkward about kissing on the forehead? I know to you it's not. That's the point. To you it is not awkward. To the other person it's a different story. Just like to you some other things might be awkward, but to them is the norm, right? These are some of the conversations we never have. Let's see here. Yes, so you're correct. AG Ohio has to be the norm for that person. For you might be the norm. For the other person that's weird, right? That's sometimes it's easier acting it than saging self, because sometimes you be saying something, the other person is hearing something different. That's literally how it happens all the time. That's all the time, as a matter of fact. That's why we need active listening, right? Because active listening does not require you to have a response right now. It just requires you to hear what the other person is saying, right? And take your time to process it. You don't take your time. It's actually easier when it comes to being pragmatic, when it comes to the actual resources needed, right? But it's hard emotionally to not have a response. If somebody will say something to you that trigger you don't have a response, that takes a lot of emotional energy to say, let me think about that. It does. It takes a lot, right? So yes, so let's talk about this. There are two things. It's managing your expectation. The other side of it is you give your partner the freedom to express their expectations. Okay, we're talking about you now. This is not It Takes Two now, right? I don't preach It Takes Two here, because like before Uncle, we know it takes two. Okay. All right, we know it takes two. All right, we know this already. All right, but all these people that know it, a lot of them are ending up in very bad, broken relationships. Okay, so that's not enough. That knowledge is not enough, right? We're talking about what you're responsible for as an individual. Okay, and what she just demonstrated is that, you know what I want is what I want. All right, I would like some kind of greetings or something, like hello, good morning, something, not just in the morning, right? And then what she kept doing is like, just say good morning, and however way she wants to. Obviously, probably not a kiss on the forehead, maybe a hug, maybe good morning, my husband, good morning, my dear, good morning, darling, something. She kept doing that, and then one day, that one day could be 3 years from now. Okay, so she really has to get herself in the mental space where she enjoys giving that to him. Whatever it is that you want other people to give to you, your partner to give to you, you have to be able to give it to yourself first. Either we're talking about money, some type of gesture, some type of behavior, because they are giving you what they've already given you. Of course, factor in C finish, right? Factor in C finish, right? They're giving you who they are, right? So it is what it is. Now, you can communicate and say, hey, it would be so lovely to see you do this, and you can say that, but manage your expectations around that. You just sow that seed, you leave it alone. You keep doing your own part, right? And she said one day, I believe that one day might be never. There's some things that are just going to be never. You're just going to accept it, right? But if you practice this, if you're patient enough to practice this, you will have reciprocations more than an average person. Most people, they don't even try it. They say, work. You will never do it. They will just conclude that the person will never do it. They've never tried it. If they tried it, they didn't try it long enough. If they tried it, they're trying it from a very empty place. There's no intrinsic value, meaning they're not doing it because it's coming from, they're doing it because they're looking to take. They're giving because they're focused on taking. So they're going to get tired. It's a matter of time. They will get tired of it. They will just, it's just going to be another give that you've done that you're not getting to receive, and you're now frustrated, and there's resentment, right? So, but when you're giving from a place of abundance, right, you're just giving, right? I mean, hopefully one day that thing you fantasized about in your head might come to fruition. But like I said, more than an average person, you will get reciprocation of some sort, right? Especially if both of you are educated on how these things work. AGOIO says some love language matters too. Love languages always matter. Always matter. Now, how many people communicate that may be different from culture to culture depending on what they're exposed to. But understanding where the other person is coming from is what love languages are. That's always going to be a matter thing. Okay? And if that sounds like work, congratulations. Welcome to the real world. Okay? Welcome to the real world. It will always matter. In fact, what we're talking about is essentially that. It's just that you have to dice it, break it down and into different ways to really connect the dots. But essentially what we're talking about is love languages, right? Right? They now have what they call the apology languages. They have all different type of languages depending on what you have expectations around, right? You have that, I forgot the name of the author of 5 Love Languages. He's doing more work around that. Because where everybody is coming from is different, and it's almost like they're asking you to read the minds of your partner. Okay, and I know to a lot of people that sounds unfair, but hey, everything that's worthwhile in life comes at a cost, right? So somebody said, honey, I would really love it if you kiss me in the morning and ask how I slept rather. Yeah, cool, you could say that. There's nothing wrong with saying that, right? What we're talking about is to manage your expectations around that. We're talking about managing expectations at every layer in your relationship, and give your partner the freedom to express their expectations. So if he was a partner who has given his, if Dr. Kingsley, right, has been a partner who has given his wife to express her expectations, then she will be able to say that. Now it's left to her to manage her expectations. So it's, what she's responsible for, what you are responsible for as an individual. Manage your expectations and give the other person freedom to express their expectations. Expressing their expectation doesn't mean you have to meet it. Okay, just the fact that they feel free to express their expectation, that freedom alone is bliss. It will create bliss in your relationship. Because what most people don't have is a safe place where they can actually express themselves. And if you can give your partner that, that's it. That's it. That's the end all be all, literally. And that's a very tough thing to do, because your own expectation is always trying to combat with their own expectation. It's real. But once you figure this out, it's bliss on the other side. Somebody said, I have heard all the messages remaining practicals. God bless you both for being mentors even from a distance. Okay, yep. And we try to do the practicals here, but it's very tough. It's very, very tough. Okay. Is Pastor K's dramatic reaction for me? Because he could relate. Where did he go?
Honestly,
All right. Let me see. What else do we have here? Let's see. I'm not sure I can see a teaching the summer from Pastor M and simply scroll past it. That's lovely. Run to watch this video, Mama. Why didn't you see it now? God bless Pastor M. She's okay. These are fans. Let me see if there's anything. I enjoy how your examples are so genuine, practical, and simplifying the mystery of kingdom marriages. You're a blessing. Okay, lovely. Okay. All right, so let me come back to my own chat here, our own chat. Our Lord of languages. Yes, so Brother Ben, shout out to my brother. Yes, Lord, it's all types of different languages out there. You know, don't overwhelm yourself with information overload too, Sha. There may also be other things that happened that PM didn't say. For example, PK may have asked her, this one, you are now doing XYZ, and that may be an opportunity for her to drop a hint. Yes, exactly. There will be opportunities as time goes on in your life that you get to express. And you have to, and expressing yourself, communication has a lot to do with timing. You know, as cute as trust and transparency in communication sounds, timing is everything. There's just some things you're speaking truth to power at the wrong time. If it feels like a lie, they will kick back at you, and what that looks like in real life is basketballs. Okay. And you'll be confused because in your heart you're just speaking the truth. And keep in mind, she also said something. She said, if you're one of those men that you don't like, because men also go through that, they don't want to offend you, so they're tippy-toeing around what they really want to tell you. We can do that to an extent, but you can't overdo that. Just like any one of these tactics or strategies, you cannot overdo it. At some point, people, like, she will actually lose respect for you if she doesn't know what's going on with you. Okay. If she does not know what's going on with you emotionally, eventually she's going to know that something is off, and she will lose respect for you because you're not a man who can speak your mind, because you're afraid she might react emotionally. If she reacts emotionally, sometimes it's okay. My rule of thumb is always, if she's going to hurt herself or ourselves, then I have to tell her. If it's just, you're right, I'm wrong, as in the emotional stuff that just cost us, it's opinion. You can have your opinion now, okay? Because more than enough time, I won't let her have the opinion too. Let's just be honest, okay? More than enough time, I will get lost in the source of conversation. No. This is how it is. No. A disagreement on something that has nothing to do with us. It's just a conversation, a small debate. Some of those debates will end up in argument that you'll be like, wait, we're just debating. It's not personal, right? And at that point in time, you just relax, you rest, gently. It is okay, right? So it just depends. My rule of thumb is, if it's something that's going to hurt her or our family, then I have to protect her from herself, right? But if it's just me, just opinions, I beg.
You're right.
Some people are not romantic. Showing some love makes them uncomfortable, suspicious, and hostile. You won't even like it because that's not what you fell in love with. If they were never romantic, now you're asking them to be that. You might think that's what you need because you're comparing yourself to other people, right? But you probably will end up getting what you're asking for. It won't feel authentic, right? So I always tell people, if somebody was not romantic when you got with them, then they are showing romance in a different way. You need to be content with that. Maybe there are other issues in the relationship that's making you feel like maybe if they just kiss you on the forehead, maybe finally you get what you're looking for. Somebody said you give to someone that wants to receive. Yeah, definitely. You don't want to. That's a loaded statement. Actually, there's so many scenarios that came to my mind. I'm a fan of Pastor M, but I would have appreciated if she shared some frustrations along the way. I know. But you can relate with, there's no way that just went straight from that point to that. There will be, it's a journey, right? I'm sure there are other messages where they probably shared some of those frustrations too, right? But it's good that we're saying it right now. We're adding some context to that. Yes, when you give, you will receive. You might not receive directly from that same person, but you will receive. It's a life principle, okay? When you give and you want to take, is that take, you will not know peace of mind. It's that take that you will just end up in. You'll be struggling to take for a long time. All your energy will be wasted in that. But when you give, okay, of course, give from a place of abundance, right? You will receive. It's inevitable, right? So it takes you having to trust, though. You have to trust the process. There will be frustrations. The road down to receiving might be rough sometimes, and sometimes the people you're expecting them to receive from, it's not going to come directly in that same way you think it should come. It's not going to come like that, right? But you will receive. Eventually you start to recognize that, oh, that's that giving that's showing up in all kind of different ways, and they tend to come from multiple angles, not just that one lane that you're focused on, right? So focus on giving. If that's not enough for you, that means you're not giving enough to yourself. Give enough to yourself. Okay, let me share 2 expectations among many I had, and the one that worked and the ones that did not. So I believe that if we have any disagreement, we sort it before going to bed. Not too, I know where this is going. But my husband does not belong to that WhatsApp group. He needs time to cool off. Sometimes that means in the morning. Yep. Which mean by next day or longer. That's actually me on the opposite direction. As you can tell, I'm a quote-unquote communicator. You know, whenever I do this to you guys, and it's like I'm dragging you guys more, right? It's because I can relate, okay? I'm that quote-unquote, I'm a communicator, assertive, says as you feel. Well, when you end up marrying to another person, who their way of communication, their love language is different, right? Their apology language is different. The way they express themselves is another language entirely, okay? As a matter of fact, you have no idea what happened in the first 18 years of their lives. That person, right? Then you go see shaggy, and then you course correct, hopefully, or you use coconut head and end up in divorce court, right? What do they say in all of this, especially religious setting? Never go to bed angry. It's not that simple. You're dealing with another human being. It's not that simple. You know? So, but there you have it. It means next day, he does not like when he's angry, and I have come to accept to give him that space. 7 years later, we're still working on it. It is what it is. Welcome to the real world. Okay? Welcome. Eventually, once you become a master at managing your expectations, and you give your partner the freedom to express their expectations without holding your own feet to the fire, you're not a god. You're not going to feel their complete need. It's not going to happen, okay? But they feel the freedom. They can express it without judgment, right? Once you master that, especially you now have a partner who masters that on their end too. Exactly, right? So this conversation we kind of went everywhere, but that's the key that I want you to master, okay? 1, manage your expectations. 2, give your partner the freedom to express their expectations. Okay, let's add a 3. 3, you don't have to fulfill their expectations. You don't have to. You're probably not going to need to fulfill their expectations. They just need to feel heard. They just need to feel like somebody is hearing them out. They need to feel a sense of a safe space. That's all it is. 99.999% of the time, that's all it is. Okay, but after time, more than after time, people are actually trying to express. They can't express because me too. Can I say something too? Can I finally say something? Right? Even at the professional level, people are even at the professional level. You have people that don't know how to just. You hear things like, "Well, let me know once you are finished, so that I can say something." If you say something like that at the professional level, you deserve to be fired. You don't know what you're doing. You shouldn't have to say that. If you have to say that, you're caught up in your emotions already. Listen to me what I just said. Many of you are professionals at work. If you have to say, well, let me know once you are finished, because now you're doing basketballs, you can feel it. You're walking on eggshell around each other, but you're trying to be professional. So you now frame it in some English accent. Well, let me know when you're finished so I can say something. If you have to say that, you're already in your feelings. You're not a professional person. Stop lying to yourself. Okay? Let them actually get it out. Okay? It's actually better that you basketballs them and talk over them than you to say that condescending thing right there. Easier said than done, okay? But we're talking about emotions, okay? Emotional intelligence is being taught in corporate now. Go figure, okay? That cooking every day was not my thing, and I made him understand and it's okay to eat out, or he can cook too. On this one, I won because sometimes he tell me not to cook and take some break. See? Let me know you are finished equals to passive aggressive. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about, Chidima. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, shout out to Pastor Mildred and Pastor Kingsley for doing the Lord's work. We got some more stuff to cover today. Thank you for engaging me, guys. I always enjoy this when I get to engage. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you are notified whenever we go live. If you like this segment, you're definitely going to like the next one. I'll be right back.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, welcome back. Let's do some TikTok reaction. 50-50 marriage. I'll be partnership. Which one be which one? Pick one. 50-50 marriage or partnership. Pick one. Okay, pick one. Let's talk about this. 50-50. We have been kind of raking over this for a while. We didn't really hit it on the head on the day we did the family meeting with Brother Ben and Film Girl. But let's talk about it today. This 50-50 of a thing. I'll tell you where this... We didn't really hit it on the nail. We didn't really cover it. Okay, so but let's just finally get to it. And I have a feeling that this will keep coming up over and over. Okay, yep, this will keep coming up over and over again. So the idea of 50-50 comes in different forms. What I've noticed, my observation, correct me if I'm wrong, when people are talking about this, they're usually talking about it from a standpoint of they will say 50-50 or 100-100. Okay, all right. They say, you always have somebody who will do a comeback and say, no, it should never be 50-50, it should be 100-100. And I'm like, huh? Kill I mean.
You think say they're wise?
It's not 50-50, it's 100-100. What did my brother on Auntie B's platform, what's his name? Samolu. But Samolu, what did he say? He said, it's not 50-50 exactly. It's 50%. Wow. So let's do a quick math. Let me see. Let's do 50-50. You'll be like, what are we doing? Yeah, let's do some math. Okay, let's do some quick math. Let me bring this a little bigger. Aha. All right, let's go to google.com. All right, and let's do 50 divided by 50. Let's do that. What does that show? Anybody know what that says? No, let's do the math. Everybody likes to talk in math these days. When they're talking about relationship, they want to talk in math. So we might as well just do it, right? So whenever you say 50-50, some people have a pushback. No, it should not be a 50-50, right? But that 50-50, what it essentially means is that you show up with 50%, and I show up with 50%, and we make one, right? So, you know, you shall live and cleave, right? And to be so way, you shall live and cleave, which is a scripture, which is true, right? And you become one, right? Now, people like, no, that doesn't sound cute enough. We need that to be a little bit, it needs to sound a little fancy. So some people say, you know what, if you bring 50% of yourself, right? Now they're talking about the relationship itself, right? Like you're bringing your A game, right? If you're bringing half of A game, and I'm bringing half of A game, spiritually, we're going to end up with half. That's not good. When we can end up with double, right? So what did they do? They doubled the 50, right? And then they doubled the 50, right? And then you have 100. Like 100. You know, Allah is being lame. It's like, wait, 100. Let's do the math again. 100/100. Let's see if that becomes 2. No, math. Math is saying it is still 1. Ouch. We're still stuck at 1. So it's not even half. It's still 1. You bring 50, I bring 50, right? Some people say it doesn't matter. 50 or 50. As long as it's equality, right? We're talking about equality. That's what all of us were advocating for that. At first, it was just women advocating for equality due to the history of this society we live in and the subjugation of women in society for opportunities, right? Women said we want equality, right? At one point they said, no, I don't want to change my tires, okay? I don't want to have to be changing stuff around my house when I can have a man worry about the bulb that's out, right? Let's let the man take care of that, right? Like, what I'm asking for is equity, not equality, okay? Not equality, equity, okay? So when you talk about equity, meaning if I need a little help, put something under my feet so I can reach the same height that you can reach, okay? So we can have a equity-based society, right? So 100 is not 51. Now, Odasambolu, now inside of Auntie B's chat, he now came up with 50%. I don't know if he came up with it, but he explained it. I'm like, this explanation is kind of making better sense, right? But his explanation was focused on finances, okay? His explanation was focused on finances. And what was it? The explanation to the finances is you bring 50% of your income. So he said, I think the example he gave, I'm trying to think, okay, if you make $100,000 as the man, perfect, right? You make $50,000 as the woman, right? So if the man brings 50% of his income to the table for our livelihood, that would be $50,000, right? So 50% of yours, and then you bring 50% of yours. That's $25,000. Now we have $75,000. Should make sense. Is it making sense? Is my math making sense so far, right? But I couldn't help myself. I was like, let me go to Google. Because I'm just as pragmatic as everybody else. That's why I take my time to explain this stuff, right? It's just that when I'm claiming to be pragmatic, I don't like removing the biggest variable of it, which is emotions. I don't like that. That used to like what about the biggest variable? Emotions. What do you mean emotions? F your feelings, Jare. You're like, why am I clapping? No, seriously. That's what they say. Like, nobody care about your feeling. This is reality. Like, I think you should tell your face to remove the feelings off your face too, because your face is completely disconnected from the statement you just made. Feelings are real, okay? Particularly emotions are real. It's literally what drives this whole thing. The marketplace, right? Your jobs. I just told you some people claim to be professionals, and they're very quick to tell you, like, well, let me know when you are finished. And they lead with passive aggression, right? They don't, even they want to play politics at what, they don't know how to play it right. They always shoot themselves on the legs. There's some people like that. Anyway, so I couldn't help myself. I went to the internet. I went to Google. I said 50%, divide by each other, right? Oh no, it still end up at 1. Still end up at 1. We're still ending up in the same circle. Well, I think it's okay. We're ending up at 1. The issues here is that there's an X factor. There's an X factor here. Let me put those two. Let's use Sambolu's 50%, right? And then let's multiply that by X. Oh, now I see your math problems. 50% divided by 50%, there's an X. There's an unknown. There's an X factor here. It's not as simple as we like to make it out to be. Unfortunately, it's not. Okay, it will never be that simple. No. We like to claim that finances is causing problems and stuff. Like, yeah, sure, it is causing problems because there's something else missing. There's a void somewhere. What is the void? What is the X factor? Right? From stories to stories to stories to story, it will vary, right? Which is why we ask people, say, hey, tell us the rest of the story. What else is happening with your marriage? No, we just always fight over money. No. tell me what else is going on with your marriage. No, it's just money that keeps causing our problem. Okay, what about when you first met? Was money causing problem at that time? Oh, no. At what point, I just started noticing that she started to have different types of funny friends. Her friends are always teaching us to do. Tell me about those friends. Tell me a little bit more about those friends. Well, there are all these kind of girls that go to parties and they always thinking, all they think about is Cashapp and all this kind of stuff. And I was just like, you know what, we two, you should have some kind of savings. And instead of, and then every time I say that, she just kind of flare up. Oh, every time you're trying to communicate this issue, she flares up. Oh, I don't want to jump the guns, right? Have you ever taken a class on communication within marriage before? What do you mean? I mean, we're a couple. I always ask her, we can sit down and talk like adults. But she just, I could never say anything to her. I've been working on eggshell in my own home for about 3 years. And I just feel like at some point, I should put my foot down and say, hey, bring 50% of your money. Okay, I want to see all 50% of your little $20,000 per year. That $20,000 you are making, I want to see all 50% of it. Bring it to this table. What do you bring to the table? Right? Let's bring 50% on the table so that we can finally say that. But every time I say that, she's talking about financial abuse. Say it in so financial abuse. Exactly. Why are we talking about financial abuse? There's unknown factors. There's an X factor, right? It's not the numbers. It's not the numbers. It's never been about the numbers. It will never be about the numbers. If you think it's about the numbers, there will continue to be casualties of this half-ass knowledge. Okay, or wisdom, I should say. I think Samolu narrowed his 50% to just financial so that there's a family financial plan that everybody is on board with as partners in the marriage. It could be 80-20%. Yes, but we were talking about the 50-50. And my response to it, because I responded to him in the chat, and truthfully, I found it profound because I've never really heard anybody say it that way. But why not just 50% of our income, babe? Let's see how we complicate things, okay? 50% of your income, 50% of your income, it makes 75,000. You actually took the time to explain it to me in the chat, right? It could easily be like, hey, babe, 50% of our household income, let's put it. If your relationship is in a good place, the conversation will be that simple. 50% of our household income, baby, should be going towards, I propose that. What do you think? What says you, baby? It could be that, right? Now, if it has to be more complicated, then you go in the angle that you're talking about, Chindima, which is 80-20. I bring 80% of my $100,000, you bring 20%. Oh, Samolu actually went on to tell me, okay, shout out to my brother Samolu, by the way. He actually went on to tell me that the idea is fairness and equity. And then at that point in time, I'm like, he stopped by here before, but no, he's not consistent. Fairness and equity inside of a marriage. What do you mean? Tell me more. Now, tell me more. I want to hear more of those X factor. Fairness and equity between one person or two people, because we're not supposed to be one. United front. Fairness against who's the enemy? Who's the friend? Who's the foe and the enemy here? It's a mindset. All of this is mindset. That's what it comes down to. Because it could be as simple as, babe, 75% we're putting this away. 20%, babe, you know I can't afford 75% of my small 50,000. You want to take it? No, babe, I have to be able to afford certain things. That will be the conversation, right? The conversation will get a little bit deeper, right? And if they are that much of friends and they can actually have that conversation at that level, all of this will not. If she's making $20,000, $30,000 a year, and you're making $130,000 a year, this conversation will probably not exist in this form. It will just be another picture entirely. So what is the solution? Well, we need to first of all identify the actual problem before we give solution. We can't keep solving the problem that does not exist or the problem that's been misidentified. That's a lot of these issues, right? We misidentify a problem and then we're trying to solve it with cookie cutter solutions, right? A lot of time we're just giving solutions that doesn't really align with the actual problem, because people don't even know how to communicate long enough or patiently enough to actually uncover the actual problem. Why? Because they are discounting emotions. Emotions no big thing. We say emotions no be your mate. They're emotions, no, nobody cares about your emotion. This is reality. Really? You think? Okay, I'll be here when you even that statement was made out of emotions. This is reality. That's your emotions talking. Anyway, in Samolu's example, the reason is so men are not crushed under the financial weight of earn more, of running a household, but he assumed men earn more. We didn't discuss the situation the woman earns more. Yes, he put that together like that when they did the actual show on NTV, right? So that men are not crushed, right? If the issue is that there's too much weight on the man, right, we can have that conversation, right? That's like an entirely different conversation, right? That conversation did not have to connect with 50-50 in any form or the other, right? Now, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying he brought into 50%, and that actually enlightened me more in terms of what else people are talking about out there. But it still came back to the same thing, right? So we just kind of like moving circles back to the same issue, right? If the weight of the financial burden of the family is on me, it's okay. It simply means we have never really taken the time to talk about our finances as a family, right? That's something you sit down, you talk together as one body, one united front. You have a household income. If you are filing taxes jointly at the end of the year, you've been doing it for a few years. I'm just talking America now. Sorry for those of you not in America. You're filing jointly, not filing married separately. You're filing jointly. So this issue of not knowing your income will not be an actual issue, at least not in subsequent years, maybe just in the last year, not in subsequent. You have an idea, right? And then you guys can sit down and have a plan around that. If you have other issues, let's say, for example, your wife's mom was already teaching her to hide some money so that she can build a separate house in Lekki somewhere outside of you. That is a different conversation entirely. You're not going to solve that problem by forcing that person to come and donate 50% of their money. First of all, that suggestion will end up straight in the poto. Your problems are deeper. The problems are deeper. And for as long as you don't identify the actual problem, you will continue to be in problem. In fact, you will build deeper hole for yourself. That's what you're going to do. They will just find better ways to hide those money away from you. And the next time they upgrade themselves and they get some promotion at work, they will hide that from you too. They don't feel safe. Remember the last topic? They don't feel safe to even express themselves to you. Because to them now you're looking like the enemy. Remember, fairness and equity. Where do you discuss fairness and equity? Somebody has to be an oppressor. The other person has to be the victim. Where else would you express that? You're just not in that space in your family. And you're solving a problem that's not really the issue. The issues are deeper than that. You're just looking at the symptoms. So you want 50%? Yeah, sure. 50% of, what about that other income? What about your shop? My shop. Did you open the shop with me? I beg. We have a lot of marriages like this. They don't have a united front. And yet people are trying to solve those problems with math. Will it work? It cannot work. Anyway, her friends are modern women. Yep, that will come up. Okay. Once they can't get their way, they will basically say it's a friend that's been, it's either your mother-in-law is teaching her daughter or the friends are teaching them. Yep. Bring what you can as a man. Women cover if not enough and even had more because they understand. I see that. That's typically when there's a united front, that's typically what happens. Okay, women will cover so much more that you're not privy to. That she take care of herself, she does her hair, she take care of the babies, buy clothes for her, but you take care of the bills in the house, right? You take care of that and you manage your resources around that. You don't overdo yourself. If she say you should go and buy a big house, and then she better be, obviously the conversation has to expand beyond just your income at that point. And obviously that conversation will be different, right? But no, you're planning your livelihood for you and your family around the income of your wife that you're not even privy to know how much that money is. Nobody should be that. That comes down to resource management conversation. That is an issue as a man. In general. Now, if you're already stuck, even if you're stuck, it's okay to ask for help. But how you ask for that help is everything. You're not just going to be all demanding and say, me as your wife, just bring 50. That's not going to work. I'm just painting the reality for you. The reality is that your request will end up straight in the poto, okay? You might not see it up front. They will hide it from you. They don't feel safe to tell you the truth. Right? So now, I'm teaching them to hide it. No, I cannot teach a person who wants to be on the same united front against you. Possible, right? Because they will be like, Allah is the enemy. My husband makes me feel safe. That's what will work. Just like her mother cannot teach her against you if she doesn't feel safer with her mother. Just like the friends cannot teach her against you if not that she's feeling safer with her friends. Same thing. Same thing. You gotta hold this. This one has to be proper first. Your resource management skills has to be proper first. That's not the whole 50-50 conversation just doesn't make any sense. Either you call it 50-50 or 100-100 or 50%. I know where it's coming from. It's not that the math doesn't make sense. The math is the same thing anyway. 1-1-1. So it's not even about that. It's about the mindset that drives that. That mindset might be coming from a holy place, a good intentions place, but a very ignorant place, a place that's not really in tune with what's really going on. That's why a lot of people will end up saying, no, they didn't see it coming. Exactly. You didn't see it coming? Of course not. You didn't see it coming. Because after all, this should be simple math. It just makes sense. Fairness and equity against who? Who is the enemy? Who is the oppressor? Fairness and equity as how? This is a marriage. Marriage or partnership? Which one are you looking for? Sometimes, from a mindset standpoint, you have to pick one. Sometimes. By default, a marriage is a partnership between two people. That's not what I'm talking about right now. But I'm talking about at a mindset level, right? Is this a marriage or just some kind of business partnership? Because even if that was the case, you will still need to have aligned vision. Even at work, in the corporate setting, the vision must align. But when the vision is not aligned, you will fight. And you might even force it to try to stick together. When you work, you're just wasting time. Take it from me. I'm speaking from a lot of experience, not just marriage, even business partnership. Okay? It's not enough that we're going to make money together. It's not enough. The vision must align. Okay? All right. If you don't believe me, go and try it somewhere else. Oh, I see your point, Ola. Asking for help is different from prescribing rules and regulations. That's where the 50-50-100 is coming from. That's the only place it's coming from. It's one person that's struggling with their destiny, that's arguing with their destiny. The other person is like, no. That's what we're talking about here. Okay, because it would not be a big topic if it was smooth. It won't be a big topic. It became a big topic because people are arguing with their destiny. It doesn't work. Okay, we have a household income. In my house, we have a household income. All of the money, household income. All right. I'm not sitting anywhere asking you bring 50, I bring 100. No, like come on now. No. That's so extra. That is all kind of extra. And people are living that type of extra life, and that's why they don't have any peace of mind. Because they're not dealing with the number one issue, which is having a united front with their partner. Right? I always say that here, there's one goal, unity. One goal. Your main job is unity. But like we were talking about Auntie Pastor Mildred earlier, right? To get to that unity, sometimes you will engage friction. It might be a rough patch, meaning it seems like you're toning you're not speaking the truth, you're toning it down. But no, I always advise against that too. While you're doing that, you're actively listening. You're listening out for opportunity to align with the other person. And you don't have to have the answer that day. Right? But we don't have that patience for the most part. We're not born with that patience. What we do is like we have an idea in our head, and it's usually mathematical. We have an idea in our head what it's supposed to be. And when that other person is disconnected from it, we'll call it they're not being reasonable. No, they are being exactly a human being, and you're not listening long enough. It could be a man, it could be a woman. It could be a man, it could be a woman. Either way, you know, if one person, at least one person is not going to be actively listening to where the other person is coming from, there's going to be a disconnect. And that's going to be a problem. All right, let me see. But I bet men under attack again, bro. Elaborate. Let me hear it. Waiting for your scenario of how woman can make their husband demand 50%. Elaborate. I'm not sure. Let me see. Fairness is paramount at times, Baba. Let's not just analyze issues from the angle that men are culprits all the time. Elaborate. I'm confused. I'm so confused. Is that what you think MOP does? I don't even understand it to even know what I do first. Elaborate. The link is pinned to the top. Please feel free. That's how it sounds. Yeah. Is Ola not a man himself, or it sounds to you like he is pandering to women? No, but I've been said it a few times. I'm just pandering to women here. It doesn't matter. I need him to elaborate so we can address the issue. 50-50 marriage or partnership. Honestly, none of the above. Okay, but let me play this video and then let's talk, and then hopefully maybe Baben will jump onto the he might be at work though, but hopefully he can jump on and then we can talk about this. Let's see. All right, let's see. There you go. All right, so let's listen to this.
Everyone says marriage should be 50-50. It's the biggest crock of bullshit I've ever heard. It's never 50-50.
Yeah.
Ever. And so what we do is we quantify where we are. So if Steve comes home and he'll be like, I got 20.
Just in terms of energy.
Just energy, investment, kindness, patience. I'm at a 20. And I'll be like, I'll cover you. I got you, brother. Like, I'll pull the 80. Sometimes we come home, which we have done a lot. My mom has been sick, and I'll say, I've got 10. And Steve, like 2 days ago, said, I'm riding a solid 25. So we know that we have to sit down at the table anytime we have less than 100 combined and figure out a plan of kindness toward each other.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, because the thing is, marriage is not something that's 50-50. A partnership works when you can carry their 20 or they can carry your 20.
So even partnership. Let me turn this down a little bit. It was so loud. Even partnership. Remember, I just said that the product, the vision of the business, you must align. And partnerships are not always 50-50 either. When they're talking about this, it's almost like every partnership is 50-50. In what world do you live in? When Jay-Z is a partner at buying the Nets, the basketball team, you think he owns 50% of that? No. In what world do you live in where every partnership is 50-50? Sometimes there's most of the time there are more than two partners in a business deal. Sometimes you're just a partner just for owning 10%. I don't know, it was less than 10% that Otedola owns of First Bank now that he's now the chairman of First Bank. He was a major stakeholder at almost 10% of First Bank PLC Nigeria. I think that's what they call it. Right? So even in the business world, all of this idea just falls straight in the poto. They are all ideas that just don't work in the real world. In the real world, there's actual competition. And if your own company with your own partners and the people you work with, if you don't align, you guys will fall apart soon enough and another company will take over. It's a very competitive marketplace. The only difference is that in the business world, they don't blame it on the devil. We blame it on the devil. You think the business you work for is looking for fairness between your company and their competitors? They're looking for fairness. You think that's their main goal, fairness? They might put that on paper because of laws, labor laws. You think they're trying to be fair? What? They will shoot you. They will destroy everything you can. If you look like enemy, they will completely total you, and they will take over, and they will cover it up to look legal because they know that the laws, labor laws, says fairness. Keep in mind, we talk about power intelligence here. We're not just talking out of our ass. Not only am I talking about emotional intelligence, social intelligence, and all this, I talk about power intelligence. You need to understand that at the end of the day, that fairness thing is just if you at the society level, right? If you're doing charity, yes, we have some organizations fighting for that, for fairness. We have the human rights. There's a place for that in society, right? Your marriage is not that place. You should be having your partner on your team, not looking for fairness. When you see your partner, you see you. That's why when people say, oh, man, he's disrespectful when they cheat. No, he's disrespecting himself. That's a man with low self-esteem and low self-respect. Now, I don't expect you to see it that way. Obviously, there's a problem. That's why you see him as the enemy, right? That's why you see him as the enemy. There's a division. There's active division in that situation. And the division is what I am fighting against, right? It's always key. Let's continue this video.
And that when you both just have 20, you have a plan where you don't hurt each other.
Have you ever?
When you both just have 20, you have a plan, we don't hurt each other. Think about that. When we both just have 20, we have a plan, we don't hurt each other. I don't even know who this lady is.
Everyone says marriage should be 50-50. It's the biggest crock of bullshit I've ever heard.
She said it's the biggest crock of bullshit she's ever heard. It's going to take a lot for that to sink deep. It's going to take a lot.
It's never 50-50.
Yeah.
Ever.
Ever.
And so what we do is we quantify where we are. So if Steve...
It's the quantification that's problematic. Why are you quantifying with your partner for life? Go make sense now. Are you guys not with me? But I bet you're not with me on this. You just sit down there, you're counting numbers against your partner all day long, man or woman. Go make sense. MOP gave only one scenario where the man is wrong. I'm not sure how you got that from this message, but I would like some kind of elaboration. You can't sit down there and just be quantifying and be measuring and measuring. That's why I say focus on giving. You go into relations to go and give. If you can't give, you are probably drained. Give to yourself. You should always be giving only from a place of abundance. If that's not enough, that means you don't feel good with this person. Move on with your life. Easier said than done, granted. But that's the only solution regardless. Because you will be competing with your partner for the rest of your life. What kind of life is that? No be juju be that.
No be juju be that.
Steve comes home and he'll be like, I got 20.
Just in terms of energy.
Just energy.
The man says, I got 20 off of energy. See, this is our brothers, Brother Ben. A man, it's okay for a man to come and say, babe, I got 20. I got you next week, but I got 20. Not just financial, energy wise, I just don't have it today. What does she say?
Investment, kindness, patience.
Investment, kindness, patience.
I'm at a 20. And I'll be like, I'll cover you. I got you, brother.
I'm at a 20. What does the woman? The woman now says, I got you. I got you. I got you, babe. All right. Over the last few days here, I've had a stressful time. And my wife can tell. She could tell. And she will be like, Bala babe. Bala babe. Even me, I get tired of the Bala babe. I feel like, wait. Stop this. Slow down with the Bala. I got this. I got this. Right? But it's so helpful when you have a person who is not measuring against you in like every energy is just like me against you. Right? But it's also because there's something inside of the love tank. The 5 love languages. Right? There's something inside the love tank. If that love tank is empty, she has nothing to give you. Now don't drain each other dry. Nothing. If you can sort this level out, the money thing is small. She will give you 100%. Let's not shoot ourselves on the legs. She will give you everything. Once she feels safe, she will give you everything. I don't have to say that about the men, because the men generally, a good man understands that he takes care of the family. I don't have to preach to them about that. This issue is trying to make women submit their money. If you have to say that, it's like asking for respect and submission, and it does not work. You go shalaye tired. It does not work. You don't have enough. You don't have enough.
Like, I'll pull the 80. Sometimes we come home, which we have done a lot. My mom has been sick, and I'll say, I've got 10. And Steve goes,
sometimes she'll say, I've got 10. I don't even have my 100%. But I got you. Shout out to Chidima for the $20. She said my 20%. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to play this for you. Let's play this one for you. Thank you so much. AGIO says, be open and sincere. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. Now, Juju. Exactly. Give what you can. Compliment each other, not competing. It's real. It's real. The competition thing is real out here. People go inside of marriage to go and compete. To me, it's like, no wonder. And then when they want to talk about the issues, they're still competing. It's like, oh, there you go. That's the issue. What's the issue? You're competing. What do you mean competing? We should just be fair. There you have it. I know. It sounds cute on paper. Fairness. I get it. It should just be fair, right? But does it work? Not inside of marriage. Actually, it doesn't work in life. Okay? It only works at the labor law, where they preach fairness and equity, and then we come into Western world, and truthfully, we enjoy some level of fairness. But wait until you rub the wrong thing. I was having a disagreement with my uncle on the Sharp Edge News Tuesday. He wanted to touch on the thing that's going on in the Middle East, the religious war thing. I said, no, we don't want to touch that. He didn't really get it. He said, it's not fair that they can silence you. I said, it's not fair waiting. Leave that topic alone. Okay? Huh? It took him a while. It was an argument. I was like, no, let's not do that. Like, how can YouTube, Facebook, and all these platforms silence? We're like, it seems. Okay, so we're now moving in fair. No, it's not that. If you want to do it, that's your mission in life. Please, by all means, knock yourself out. If they shut you down here, you can go to another platform, TikTok. You'll be running around, scatter. If that's your mission in life, it's not mine. It's not mine. My mission in this life is to win. Okay, and when I win, I bring my loved ones along. I don't win against my loved ones. My loved ones also benefit from winning. That's my idea of winning. What's the point of winning? I'm the only one winning. I'm winning against my partner. What? But I say, is it everyone that can say, I got you? Speak about those type, please. The one that, I said it already. The one that feels safe and secure, they don't have to say it. They just got you. It's not about the saying it. I know you understand that. It's about they just got you, right? Nothing else makes sense to them than they have to have your back. Because remember, it's a feeling. There's intrinsic value there. They feel safe and secure. The man, because of our primitive nature, generally wants to take care of his family unless it's a deadbeat. I don't talk to deadbeats. I just don't. I don't think me preaching to them helps anything. The only thing I can do for them, be a good example. That's all I can do for deadbeats. So primitive nature of man, which is one of the issues. I preach to men here all the time. I say, you too, you deserve soft life. But you're not going to achieve that soft life competing with your wife. It's not going to happen. All right? I'm saying that so you don't end up in competitive arguments with your wife. Right? So you're not just there like say, hey, you're supposed to. If you have to say supposed to, that's fantasy. It's not working. It's not working. You have not earned that respect, which is why you're trying to force it. Right? That's why those kind of men struggle, because it's like pulling teeth. They can't comprehend why it's not working. A reasonable person should be. So why would she be working and be pocketing all our money? I have a feeling it's a lot deeper than that. If that's the true story, if that is the true story right there, just leave her now. Just let that woman go. Let her go. Let her go to somebody else. She can go and show somebody else shaggy. You too, you deserve soft life. It is not soft life to be arguing with your wife on how she should bring 50-50. That's not soft life for you, gentlemen. Okay? That is literally a life of struggle. Obviously. even financially, obviously. That's a life of struggle. It's not worth it for you. Okay, let her go. You know. And what would that achieve? So I already speak on those type. I already did. Yeah. The woman that got you, not even just saying it, she just got you. You know. Yeah. A woman will not respect a man who is always demanding. It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. It will be a struggle. Not because 50-50 doesn't make sense on paper, remember? It's about, it just feels some type of way. Just, even as a normal man, you yourself don't feel right. That you have to ask your woman for that. You already don't feel right. It's already a very uncomfortable. That should tell you something. That already feels uncomfortable. And not me, I will ask, okay, if that's working for you, very simple. You just keep doing what's working. You don't have to change anything that's working, right? Just keep doing it, right? That's it. We're in it together. Help mates, not running mates. Yep. Men talk about women having higher unrealistic expectations. Isn't 50-50 or 50% 50% an unrealistic expectation from men? Like I said, it's like that's actually shooting ourselves on the legs, because that woman will drop everything she has if there's a need to do that. If you stay in your own lane as a man, right? What is your own lane? The leader. I'm not going to shy away from that. You're the leader. Not just because I say you want to be the leader, as a matter of fact. Stay in your own lane. If there's a need for the people that are following you to add some resources to the pot, there's a way a leader communicates that. All right? It's not going to be like you're going to have to sell. You have to communicate the value in doing that. It's your job to have that vision. It's your job to communicate the vision. So how you communicate, you have to have a solid vision first that makes sense, that people can follow, right? But then it's also your job to communicate that vision. All right? And women lead in so many different ways, you know? They lead in so many different ways. So it's not to say women can't be a leader. I'm talking about the family structure today. I'm talking about marriage in particular. I'm talking about the nature of marriage from a traditional standpoint, right? I told you before, there's all kind of indications and signs that my grandmother, okay, they've been dead now for 15-20 years, okay? As in like people that were born between 1900 something and 1930 something, right? There's all kind of indication that my grandmother, she was the second wife, that she dropped a lot of dough to make my grandfather look like the king that he was, right? But that man, I remember I grew up watching him, right? He would sit in front of the house like this in the village. They have that thing like that, the king. You won't hear it anywhere, and she feels a sense of pride that she doesn't have to say that in public ever. You think that was 50-50? If you're asking for 50-50, you're shooting yourself on the legs. The issues are deeper. You could get a lot more. You can get a lot more. It's the point of this conversation. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Let's finish this video.
2 days ago said, I'm riding a solid 25. So we know that we have to sit down at the table anytime we have less than 100 combined.
They know anytime they have less than 100, they have to sit down at the table. It's just a different vibe in that conversation.
And figure out a plan of kindness toward each other.
And figure out a plan of kindness to each other. She's not even talking about finances. She's talking about kindness. Maybe you blew up. That happens to normal human beings. Maybe you got caught up in a funky place and you just snapped at your partner, right? That person that's coming from a place of weakness, right? But at that point in time, you know, we got to talk, right? We got to talk, right? That can include giving them some space to process that. We got to talk, right? Because if you don't do that, that's a toxic relationship, right? You will build resentment over time, you know. So I do believe in talking and having a conversation. I just think you should add timing to that. It's not just enough that you want to talk. What if the other person is not ready to talk? Well, we were told not to talk. Shout out to Natu. If we go not, you know, bring this stuff to the bed and sleep overnight. No, it's okay to sleep. You wake up. Okay, it might be tough for you because you're that kind of person. You're married to them now. It's in your best interest to give them that space, that time, so that you can actually get to the conversation in a more healthier way, as opposed to just, because they're going to just dismiss you. That's what's going to happen. They'll be dismissive in the way they'll respond to you. You wouldn't even like yourself, right? So if anytime you just, at least you start with yourself, like, okay, we're not in a good place. You know that you have 20%, you have 25%, ideally 100. Is that a reality? No. 50-50, what is that? I can even still entertain the 100 conversation. Just let's not make it about the math. 100 equals to 1, 2. Let's not make it about that. I can entertain that, but that's ideally, that's the goal. But the reality is that you'll be carrying each other for a long time. Sometimes somebody is weak, you have the strength. In other areas of life, you have strength, weakness. That's the reality of this thing. Okay. Well, the conversation was about finances. You need if you are that good in your finances and there's money, talk to a financial advisor. Okay. Talk to a financial advisor. That's not the issue. I disagree. So we have to talk to financial advisor in budgeting. Listen, if you go to your phone right now, just type in budget on your app store. There's all types of applications that you don't have to argue if 50-50 is good or not. And you guys can budget around some kind of standard, as opposed to trying to camouflage this and act like this is about 50-50. No, it was never about 50-50. It's basically about two people that are supposed to be married competing with each other. Will it work?
Yeah, because the thing is, marriage is not something that's 50-50. A partnership works when you can carry their 20 or they can carry your 20. And that when you both just have 20, you have a plan where you don't hurt each other.
Right. The 80-20 Pareto rule, all of that, that's probably more of a safer conversation, because you're not playing the equality thing. You're just knowing that sometimes that thing that you call marriage, somebody's carrying the 20 for you. Right? That's just principles of life, you know. So we got one more. I didn't know this topic was going to be this long, but I'm glad it's doing justice. We got one more on the 50-50 topic. Let's do it.
Marriage is not.
You already know where it's going, but you know, we know a lot of men don't really mess with Steve Harvey too, but that's their problem. Let's see here. AGOIO says your grandma was a Proverb 13 woman, great woman. She was. When it comes to that, she was. And you know, a lot of people will testify to that, you know. But let me say let me play Uncle Steve.
50-50. It has never been.
No, wait. Start from beginning. Uncle
Marriage
Steve.
is not 50-50. It has never been 50-50. It will never be 50-50. I'm going to hold up a card and I'm going to show you what marriage is. Marriage is 85-15. 85 to the woman and 15 to the man. And let me explain something to you. The reason a woman is in charge of the house is because they know more about it. They know the kids' schedule. They know your schedule. They know the bills. They know where everybody goes. They take care of vacations. They run everything in the house because they care about everything. You a dude.
You a dude.
You just know about your job. You don't know nothing else. You don't know nothing else. And guess what? I'm happy.
Right.
I come home and I'm happy.
He said, guess what? And I'm happy. Okay? I'm happy. If you disagree with him, I'm open for a debate. Just keep in mind, I'm going to ask you for examples. We're not just going to talk in generals. All right? We're not just going to talk. We're going to give scenario-based. I'm working on a quiz, scenario-based quiz that might have maybe about 70 to 100 questions that you can take as assessment to test your knowledge of some of this stuff I'll be talking about. Scenario-based, okay? We will be doing scenario-based in that conversation. If you say something is generalized, I'm just going to be like, I agree. Because honestly, if you're generalizing, I think you're right.
Well, you're right.
I can't argue with generalized stuff. I can't. Sorry. But if we can talk about scenarios, then we can talk. We can have a little bit more conversation. He did say 85-15, right? It's the same thing. 80-20, 85-15. So the point is that it's not some equality fairness nonsense. That's the point. Okay, some people might say 70-30. There's just a figure of speech, right? That sometimes somebody else is carrying, and he was more specific about the home, right? He was more specific about the home. Obviously, in a typical situation, not all situation, not all, hashtag not all. Motigbo, in a typical situation, the woman is carrying the home. That doesn't mean she's cooking, by the way. That's the least part about the home. Okay? She's carrying the home, the family, the kids, the children, and he goes, "You're a dude." What's that supposed to mean? You don't know what that means? Okay, again, I'm open for debate on this platform at any time. Then we can talk a little bit deeper into that, because we're here. We're going to be having this conversation. We're not going anywhere. All right. Shout out to that. All right. So at the beginning of the show, wanted to know if you guys would chime in. What do you think the goal should be for this month? We hit our goal and surpassed it last month by $38. Okay, by $38. So we wanted to set a goal for this month. Last month's goal was $200, and we surpassed it. So we did $338. So I wanted to set a goal. I want you guys to help me set a goal, not to set $300. And we already have Chidima already put $20 towards that. I appreciate you, Chidima. So shout out to you. Just wanted to put a reminder quickly on that. Do me a favor, hit that like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. Let's ping everybody else into the room. All right. And if you like the segment, you're going to like the next one. I promise. But leave me your comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking about all of this. You just disagree, agree, disagree. Let's talk. If you disagree, you are making it okay for me to continue to try to convince you, just so you know. I don't do agree to disagree. We are having an ongoing conversation. I do that in real life, not on this show. We are having an ongoing conversation. We might never get to agree, but I don't do agree to disagree. No, I have content to create. So obviously we're not going to end the conversation. All right. So yeah, I'll be back in a few. Check out this next segment.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, quick question for you guys. This topic is what I wish I knew before getting married. So I'm gonna wait maybe about 30 seconds. What would you, for those of you that are already married or you've been married before, what would you say you wish you knew before getting married? Anything that you guys might say you wish you knew. OG or Iho says, apart from I have allergy, Lord help me. Apart from online, what other way to give, please? You can get the books, you can buy the books, you can leave a review for the books on Amazon. You can also give by way of Cashapp. Let me see if I can pull that out. Hopefully I have it here. Where's the Cashapp stuff? I think it's scrolling on the screen. It's simply Cashapp is I think it's I don't remember. I think it's Man of Prestige, $ Man of Prestige on Cashapp. You can also do that. I can't find the label. I think I might have deleted it because we usually don't use it, but I think it's scrolling on the screen. If you look at it, it's $ on Cashapp, Man of Prestige on Cashapp. But thank you so much. Yeah, all those different ways you can give and support. Thank you. All right, so back to the topic. What would you hope that you knew before getting married? Anybody want to go? I'll give you another 30 seconds. Another 30 seconds. Not to say it's my 10%. Remember, you guys remember how I got that the drop from Daddy Freeze, right? That was because I was given I think it was $10 from the Japa when it was dragging the Japa people, right? That's how I got the drop at the beginning, by the way. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, this drop right here.
Now you win. Now you win today. Now you win. I agree. Man of prestige. Now man you be.
That was $10. So $10 did that. All right, so shout out to Natu. I appreciate you, Natu, for the $10, Jared. Thank you, thank you. All right, for me, I wish I knew certain red flags to look out for. I wish I had more self-awareness, self-esteem, and emotional intelligence. Wow, that's solid. That's a solid one, Chidima. But I better say, coming in shortly, awesome. We remember DF was dragging diasporans. Yes, he was. And when it was done and it was finished and it was about to rest, I said, here's $10 from the Japa. He just started going like, man of prestige. You're like, $10. Baba. Take them easy. Last, waiting happen. Last.
Ó ṣorí kìdìgbà bíi Brazil aṣẹ́wó. Ó wá sórí live mi ó sọ̀sọ̀kúsọ. Já dànù jẹ́ rapture wèrè dànù where you dey. Rapture dànù kúrò lórí live mi òpó nóòṣì.
That was also me, by the way, because he misinterpreted something that I said. That's okay. We can laugh at it. Right? Yeah, I said I brought money. Not to even remember. Yeah, I said this is I brought money. Yep. That marriage life is different from courtship, though. It will remain as it. Right. So for men, I teach them to actually treat them equally. Because what you are is what you are. Just the same way where they say a wife is always a wife. It's not about somebody already married you or not. If you're a wife, you're a wife, okay? You'll be off the market in no time if you're a wife. You don't last being a single person if you're a wife, okay? If you're a wife, you're a wife. And good, competent men will see that in no time, and you'll be off the market. That's just the way. And when I say in no time, obviously, relatively speaking, right? But it's the same way. A man should treat every woman equally. Okay, a man should treat every woman equally. All right, very simple. You treat every woman equally across the board, regardless if it's your wife or girlfriend or something. It's who you are. Okay, it's who you are as a person. It doesn't mean you try to sleep with every one of them, but it's just who you are. So I see a lot of people try to separate dating from relationship, from marriage. I'm like, okay, you can run away from dating faster than marriage. I guess I'll give that to you. But in the grand scheme of things, the skills are the skills. If you're a husband, you're a husband, even before you marry a person. Yeah, right? They can see it in you. And sometimes you're not able to explain it the way I'm explaining it in words. Most good husbands cannot articulate what I'm saying in words, but it shows in their behavior. You could just tell. So please don't be looking around for somebody who speak like Dr. Kingsley. That's not realistic. Okay, it just shows in their behavior. Self-awareness and emotional intelligence is what you wish you knew. Some questions I wished and asked before marriage. Interesting. All right. So let's go to some examples that I see here. Some examples I found on TikTok. I've always wanted to react to TikTok videos, but today we got time. Let's do it.
Things I wish I knew before getting married young. I wish I knew how to advocate for myself when it comes to all of that. You're going to miss out on your 20s, people, because let's be for real. What exactly am I going to miss out on? I still got to travel. I still got to go out with my friends. I still got to have my home life. I still got to accomplish all of my career goals. The difference is after my girls' night, after our brunch, I'm getting picked up by my mans. The thing that I would absolutely hate or annoy the hell out of me is how many people would ask me if I'm missing out on experiencing new partners or having new sexual experiences, as if to have a new sexual experience, you need a new partner for that. I personally don't think I need a new partner to have a new sexual experience. So I could argue that having new sexual experiences is a lot more confident and comfortable when you're with someone that you know, trust, and you love.
Marriage is not 50.
All right. Let's. So she's saying, I don't know what she said. It's not really has to do with the topic much, but she's saying people are saying they wish. Let me see.
Things I wish I knew before getting married young. I wish I knew how to advocate for myself when it comes to all
she
of
said,
that. You're going to miss out on your 20s, people, because.
So people, you say you're going to. So if you are going to marry, I guess she married early. And people will say you're going to miss out on the early 20s thing, right? And she's basically saying, nah,
let's be for real. What exactly am I going to miss out on? I still got to travel. I still got to go out with my friends. I still got to have my home life. I still got to accomplish all of my career goals. The difference is after my girls' night, after our brunch, I'm getting picked up by my mans.
Okay, so you can still have it all those things, but the reality is that marrying early is not for everyone. Marrying later is not for everyone. You marry when you find the one. Okay, God's time is the best. You marry when you find the one, when you are ready to actually be a husband or a wife. That's when you marry. Okay, but it's not a matter of age as long as you're an adult, right? I personally think that early 20s is a space like you're in college, you're finishing college, you're trying to get yourself settled and stuff like that, right? I get that, but outside of that, if you're an adult and you're ready to be a wife or husband, you go for it, right? Does that guarantee a marriage with a long life? No. Does waiting till later guarantee marriage with a long life? No. It doesn't, right? So, but she's right. All these things that you think you're going to miss out on, and you might actually miss out on a good candidate for husband or wife. If you're stuck in your head and you think it must be a particular time, let's say like 35, you might end up doing something like that. But even that one in my head, I argue with this smart. If you actually did something to sabotage a relationship in your 20s and now you're single 31, 32, 33, is that really sabotage, or that's just God's time? It just wasn't right. It just wasn't meant to be. So I kind of argue with that in my head. What I'm saying is that when you're an adult and you're a person of a certain age, you absolutely want to be intentional, right? So being intentional about what are the skill set that makes you a husband, what are the skill set that makes you a wife. As you grow older, hopefully you know that these are actual skills that you need to learn. Without those skills, it doesn't matter when you marry, could it last, okay? And sometimes when you marry early, you actually get to grow with a good partner, right? So she's making a good point in terms of you're not exactly missing out on anything. That's just your life. And you can have all of those things. And in terms of sexual experience too, you can have new sexual experience. Actually, it's better to have new sexual experience with the same person. It's actually better. With Ola, you haven't experienced something else. How would you know? What kind of assumption is that? Anyway, let's leave that alone. Let's leave that alone. So that's one person. Let's go to the next person here.
We're back at it again with things I wish I knew before I got married. Wedding edition. Y'all, I've said it once.
Hold on, pardon me. Before I go to this gentleman, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. AG Ohio say, got to know that boys are different from men. Yeah, that statement has context to it, But a boy, what do we mean by a boy? 7-year-old boy? Or do you mean boys who are 23, 25 years old, right? Yeah, precisely correct. But those people, they can actually acquire knowledge if they have enough desire, and they can literally transform from being a boy to a man. They could be a boy at 31. Is that what you mean? What do you mean by a boy? Or you mean actual boy, 7 years old? Which one? Because that would be completely disconnected from the point I was making, which is, the point is very simple, right? What you're supposed to do is be a husband before you actually become a husband, right? Just like I said, wife, before, because these are skill sets. It's a certain way you move that you're just that person, right? So, but you're absolutely correct. Boys are different from men. That's absolutely a point I can't disagree with. Saying marry a man, not a boy. Yes, absolutely. Yep. So in that sense, absolutely. Yep. You see, I'm just reading as we go, right? Absolutely. Make sure he's a grown man.
Once, and I'll say it again. I did not have the best wedding experience. I'm so open about that because
this one is more concerned about the wedding. He said he did not have a good wedding experience. He's now talking about what he wished he knew. Yep. Gotcha.
It's the truth, and I'm making this video because I would like for you to avoid any of those mistakes that I made personally. Number 1, don't be so focused on planning for a wedding that you forget to plan for your marriage. I spent upwards of $10,000 for my wedding.
That's it? I spent $80,000 on my own wedding. He spent $10,000. These Oyibo people. Anyway, let's keep going.
I regret that wholeheartedly.
He regrets spending $10,000 on his wedding. What kind of wedding was this? Let's keep going.
We could have done something very simple, more intimate, and that money, put it towards a house.
Oh, like just spend $26 at the city hall with one witness and you're married. That part, yeah, that's true, you know. But you have to get the other person to agree to a simple wedding like that, right? All right. It's possible. You can have a conversation. Maybe that's how you guys are lying. You're frugal. You manage your expenses. You don't waste money on stupid stuff. Let's listen out to what stupid stuff is. Let's continue.
But no, I went towards terrible food and inviting tons of people, most of which I don't even talk to anymore, which brings me to my next point. Your wedding is one of the most special days of your whole life. Make sure that people who you actually want to be there are there. Don't do it to please anyone. Your parents might...
Don't do your wedding to please anyone. Nigerian people.
I pressure you to invite family members that you don't really talk to or like, for that matter. Your colleagues might want to go. Your church might want to... Listen, invite whoever the heck you want to invite. It's your wedding day.
Okay.
Some venues...
Some people literally want everybody at their wedding. All right? Everybody. The whole city. Societal wedding. My Nigerian people, where are they?
You're charging up to $60 per plate. You want to make sure that...
It doesn't matter. We will raise the money. Family will support. Everybody will support. We will get sponsorship. Shout out to V, what's her name? V James, something like that. The other lady, the other day, the one with they try to force her wedding to go viral. Let's keep going.
People that actually want to be there, which brings me to my next point.
Okay.
Please thoroughly vet your wedding venues. We made the horrible mistake of visiting one and sticking with it. Not only were they super expensive, they...
All right, so this guy is just giving wedding advice. Let's go on to the next one. What I wish I marry. Thank you, Jerry, Vicky James, something like that. Let's go to the next one. Actually,
you need to watch out for the red flags. Don't get married too fast. You want to go...
Don't get married too fast. What? Before you get married, you need to know this. Don't get married too fast. Shout out to Tyree's wife is on the screen. She's always talking about relationships as well. What's her name again? What's her name? Somebody remind me. What's Samantha Lee? This is Tyree's ex. That Tyrese is so angry with. Let's keep going.
Do at least enough seasons where you see how they handle pain.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good advice. Make sure you see enough seasons to see how they handle pain. What kind of seasons are we talking about? Wait, that's not math. Seasons. What does it mean by seasons?
Their grandmother dies, how he handles that. Does that send him back to drinking and clubbing and being online flirting with other women? You need to see how she or he handles losing a job, because that's how you know the kind of character a person has. It's not when they're on the mountaintop and they're getting everything they want. You need to see how they handle loss. You don't want to connect yourself with someone who cannot handle the pain of life, and then you find yourself in and out of rehab with them all the time. You don't want to take too long to get married. I see some people be dating for 10 years. I'll be like, what in the world are you waiting on? You know what that's showing me? Red flag. That person has a commitment issue. And I cannot prove this in the Bible, but I'll just tell you, through 20 years of ministry, after about 2 years of y'all being together, you should at least...
He actually said, I can't prove this to the Bible, but after... Some people are afraid to say that. They must prove everything in the Bible.
At least be talking about the next step in your relationship. After 2 years of I love you too, I love you. Okay, how much do you love me? If you love me that much, put a ring on it. And so there comes a place where, listen, you either gonna step up or step off, because God got somebody better for me. And
but sometimes I'm speaking to women now. Sometimes he'll be with you for 5 to 10 years because you've given him all of the goods that he is not yet qualified for, because he becomes qualified when he gives you his name. When you have his name and a ring on it, then he can have all of the goods. So if you close the shop so he can't have any of the goods, see what he does.
It's true. It's so true.
All right, let's move on to the next one. I have my brother Ben here. I'll come to you in a second, sir. Let's see here. Okay, we have another one here. This is a good one.
A few things I wish my dad had taught me about women and marriage before I got married. Learn her love language. Listen to what she isn't saying.
Learn your love language. Listen to what she is. I can always count on these older people. Listen to what she isn't saying. So you saying I have to read minds? Listen to what she isn't saying.
More than what she is saying.
More than what she's saying.
Find out something that she really detests about housework or children, or something that she really don't like to do, and do it for her.
And do it for her.
A woman is made love to outside of the bed.
A woman is made love to outside of the bed.
A a man is made love to in the bed.
Ooh.
Learn her body before you think you're really good at making love. Listen more to what she isn't saying to what she is saying.
He had to repeat that point. Do you think that carries a certain amount of weight? Maybe.
Find out what she...
By the way, we have women who say, no, nobody should be a mind reader. Everybody should be accountable as adults. Brothers, it's a setup. Will it work? It cannot work.
Really wants instead of what she's saying.
She wants.
And more importantly,
what she really wants is different from what she's saying she wants. Are you saying women are not adults? Come over here right now. Come right here. Okay, listen to me carefully. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay, I wasn't slapping anybody. Just the idea. Okay, listen to me carefully. Okay, what she really wants is different from what she says she wants. We're not talking about on the job. We're talking about inside of marriage, in a romantic relationship. Okay, this has nothing to do with if she's confused or not. There's too many factors. Remember the X factor, the big X factor. There's too many things, about 2,000 of variables inside that X factor that goes into this. So it's not as simple as saying that she doesn't know what she's doing. No, that's you still trying to oversimplify the issue. Could it work?
I mean, love God more than you love her.
Love God more than you love her. Listen, that's the best way I can finish that right there. You know, but brother Beno, my brother, how you know?
Hey, brother, how you doing?
I do. So this is how we're gonna do it. I want you to speak to this because I have segments, right? Then I will reserve small segment at the end where we will talk about that other topic. Just stay with me on this particular topics so we can keep the videos clean. You feel me? What says you about this one? Do you have anything to add on to this? What you wish you knew before getting married?
Oh, yeah, of course. For me personally, I think I wish I knew being married required a lot of patience from a man. Yeah, from a man perspective, I wish I knew when you say I do, when you find that baby girl and you're like, oh, sweetheart, you are my God, you are the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. I wish I knew that you have to be absolutely become a master in patience.
That's real.
Yeah, because you know, like I always say on your platform, most of the thing I say is from my personal experience, and I've learned a lot. And when I look at where we started and where I am right now, what I knew that really worked for me and probably brought my marriage to where we are in this moment is patience. I was patient for 5 solid years, which even when I think about it at times, I'll be like, how did I do that? Where did that come from? When I look at all the past goals, everything I endured, a younger me, a 30 years old, 25 years old Ben, I won't even take 20% of it. But by the grace of God, I was able to be so patient, calm, and of course have the ability to listen. So if you ask me, patience is what I think I knew before I got married. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Patience is a virtue. Yeah, you don't really know what that means until you're inside of it. Yes, it's so good to say patience. Of course, be patient. But you know, Ebenezer Obey has said something a long time ago. Pardon me. He said, "Sùúrù la fi ṣọkọ obìnrin."
Yes, sir.
Right. So I'm actually going to probably go find the lyrics to that and maybe dissect it one of these days. Because I'm sure there's a lot of wisdom in the lyrics of that song, you know. Àgbà tó ní sùúrù, ohun gbogbo ló ní. Let me just stop right there, right? Let me just stop right there. But yeah, absolutely. Chidima says, why we women gotta be complicated though? Good. That's another topic entirely. You know, but there's many studies around that topic. You know, many studies around that topic. But at the end of it all, it's all fair. You know, in love and war, all is fair. It's just that, are we patient enough to even have that conversation to that point when we're able to see that the fairness is already there? You know, AG Ohio says these are seasoned words. All right, I have my brother here. I want to have a conversation with him. Let me round up this segment. We have one more topic and then we'll get into that conversation. I'll be back. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Leave your own comments. Let me know what you wish you knew before getting married. I'll be right back.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, let's talk about Baba Adeboye real quick. He had some advice. If you married the wrong person, he said you should do this. Let's just play the video, and then I want to hear Brother Ben, and then we'll wrap this up.
Those of you who have already married the wrong fellow, there's no room for divorce. Just carry your cross and follow Jesus. His grace will be sufficient for you.
His grace will be sufficient.
Don't ever think that you can marry somebody and then change the fellow.
Right, good point, good point.
If the fellow does not change,
just carry your cross
before you marry.
Oh.
It's a settled matter. No problem. I am standing on the rock of ages. And that brother, that sister, I know she's still... Those of you who have already married the wrong fellow, better to be single than to be married to the devil.
Ish.
Do you agree with that?
Yes.
If you marry the wrong fellow, you are in soup. Several years ago, a friend of mine says to me, is that EA? Because we are close, so we call ourselves by initials. I said, yes. He said, I want to divorce my wife.
Yes, okay, yes, okay.
If you do that, you will go to hell. He said, where have I been since the day I married? I pray for all of you. You will never marry the wrong fellow. Better to be seen.
Anyway, but Beno, your turn. What's your take on what Baba has to say?
I think Baba is speaking from the point of view of a man of God and an elderly person.
Right.
I don't really think that is obtainable nowadays. That is not obtainable. That I'm just going by what Baba said, that if you marry the wrong person and you try to change that person and it didn't work out, you just have to accept your fate. No.
That part, that one thing, right?
Yeah, get out of that relationship as fast as you can. That's what I would say.
With all this news, that have people buying, says a love buy me and I buy. Love key you there. When I heard it, okay, that first line was kind of inflammatory. Everything else is said after that, I couldn't really disagree with. I know you and I have had conversations also before when we talked about marrying the right person or marrying the wrong person. Personally, I don't think that is a thing. But there's a lot of context to me saying that. There's a lot of behind the scene context to me saying that if you marry the person, you marry that person. The fact that they are right or wrong is literally irrelevant. You marry that person. You have choices. You can divorce that person. You have options. So, and I also think everyone that's ever gotten married, you've gone through a moment that you questioned your choice. No matter how happy the marriage is today, you've gone through a moment where you felt like you've married the wrong person. And now you're in a place of bliss and you're thinking your head that you didn't do something stupid at that time to discard them because of some moment of terrible, there's some people like that. There's some people that it's just too much for them. We can't use one person to measure the other person. It's just too much for them. It's better for them to leave, because if they don't buy them, they will buy somebody else. Right?
Certainly.
So it's a case by case thing. That line coming from in my opinion, the most influential person in Nigeria, in my opinion. That line saying you just carry your cross, that line is dangerous. Because there are people that literally take that to heart and they stay. And they are carrying cross that they can't carry. It is okay to leave a relationship if it's not working. It doesn't have to be a permanent decision, but leave first.
Yes, sir. And that's why I said Baba is speaking as an elderly man and at the same time as a clergyman. Of course, you can't expect somebody in his position to say, "Oh, you have to divorce, or you have to leave." That would be the next trendy thing. People that Baba Adeboye is aiming at divorce, or
I know.
People just gonna read the wrong meaning to it. But if we look at it based on what is happening around us now, you marry somebody, you're not compatible, you try to work it out, it's not working out. Divorce is a solution, not a problem.
Yeah. At that point,
it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Exactly. Where and some people push against us and say we are, even including you, say we are teaching them to leave their marriage. Remember that conversation when we say things like divorce is a solution. Some people interpret that. A lot of men, thank God you're always here representing the man's point of view, right? A lot of men will say you are teaching women to leave their marriage because you said divorce is a solution. But we're talking about a certain type of marriage. That marriage is not working.
Yeah.
If it's not working, it's not working. Them leaving might actually be what you need first before you can actually bring it back together again or pick up the pieces again. And if you can't bring it back together again, there you have your answer. It wasn't meant to be.
Oh, AGOI said, easy on the guys. What about the other party?
Same thing. I teach men to call the police. If a woman pick up something and smack it on your head, or she's pushing your head like this, and you think you're normal, she's a woman, no, call the police. Let her sleep in jail for 2 nights.
Yeah.
Make sure it's a Friday. No, don't wait until it's Friday. But it's better if it's a Friday, so she can sleep for 3 days, because the judge will not answer to her until Monday morning. Right? When she come home, you will settle it. If you don't settle it, it's okay. But it's not okay for anybody to be laying hands on anybody in the name of my gender is allowed to do that. No, it is not okay. But when it comes to the emotional aspect of things, we have a lot of work to do, and you've said it earlier on. Patience.
Yeah, it's patience.
Patience.
But you are even nice. My own approach is somehow a little bit different from yours. My thing is, if you are having a situation whereby you get to that point that you felt compelled to put your hands on each other. And here I will talk to men first, because men are always the one who do the hitting first. Although there are some women that equally do, but most cases men are the one.
Most of those reported cases.
Out of frustration, they like to hit. My own thing is, once you and your wife's situation is getting to that point that you feel I have to slap her, let me reset her brain, bro.
Don't do it all.
That's the time to call your lawyer and get out of that marriage. That's
Don't
just
do it
my
all.
own. So that's why I say you are even more patient than my own approach himself. My own way now, like
you just say that marriage is poto straight.
Yes. So once you get to that point that you have to hit her, bro, it's time to leave. I always tell guys that, look, women are not the only one who have the liberty to divorce. You can also fight for divorce.
Yes.
Tell a judge, I don't think I'm safe in this marriage. I think I'm being emotionally abused. I think I'm being psychologically abused. My mental health is affected based on what this woman is doing to me. I want to be separated from her. I want a divorce. You know, that's just my own approach, because I've always believed in friendship. When you're married to somebody, your first goal is to make your wife your friend. And as a woman, your first goal also is to make your husband your friend. I don't know, maybe I'm coming from a different place, but my thing is this. How do you claim you enjoy your marriage when your wife is not your best friend or your husband is not your best friend?
They are doing it all.
I don't get
Sadly.
I don't know if you get where I'm coming from.
I get it. They are doing it sadly, and it doesn't work out. It's just prison yard. They are just being roommates. A lot of couples are playing roommates.
Yeah, that's not the way it's supposed to be. Because to me, I've always believed that there is marriage and there is friendship. Okay, when you got married, you agree that, okay, we want to do this thing according to what God said we should do, that we should embrace the marriage institution. So that is like a formality kind of to me. The second part is, you are married now, you become one. So we are supposed to be the best friend. And that is why I'm big on transparency and trust.
Right. You should bring that person into your world.
Yeah.
You should be in your world.
Guys, to become best friend as a couple, you need transparency and you need trust. Now, how you get to the point where you are now transparent?
That's where the issue is.
Kata they happen.
That's where me and you they rub friction. How? Because once it's messy, how do we get? Because I agree we should be in that space, but when it's messy, that journey to get there, you know, we have to be strategic about that, and we can't, you know, it's case by case by case. Everybody's situation is different, you know. But yeah, number one point of focus here in our framework here has always been friendship. I put sex as number 2 there. I put 3 number. We already talked about expectations today, and then we also talk about managing. You have to manage those 3, and number 4, you have to manage them. If you manage them well, sex and friendship is stuff. That's the goal. That you're always doing that, you know, from time to time. And we're not talking about people that have medical conditions, of course. Yeah, thank you so much for that, brother Ben. Let me round up this. That was a quick, nice one. Let me see. Agreed, speaker. There should be mutual understanding. Yes. Now, how, like he said, how we get there when it's already messy is where I come in on Man of Prestige, right? That's where the Wala did.
Oh, all the problem we have around marriage nowadays is how do we get to a place whereby we both understood each other? We get our own communication, we form our own culture. I mean our married culture, not the traditional culture, our own tradition.
Your own, in your own home. Your own that
Yes. And speaking to that tradition, if you just spare me 1 minute. I saw the video you played about Mrs. Kingsley, Mildred, I think that's her name.
Right.
I watched that video and I smiled.
No, we'll go talk. I want to round up this section, and then we'll talk about that. That's our additional bonus section. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. Let me know what your thoughts are about Baba Adeboye's opinion. You agree, you disagree, you're in between, you think he's just an elderly man, it's just context. It's just tell me what your thoughts are about it. And if you like that segment, you definitely like the next one. And I'll be right back.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, one enough.
Okay, so for reference, let me play the video one more time and then we'll talk. Okay. Let's see here. Auntie Mildred is going to talk to us real quick.
Honestly, I thought that every morning my husband would wake me up with a kiss and say, "Sunshine, good morning." Now my expectation, your expectation. So I had expectation, just that it was cut short. He wake up in the morning, just pass. And no, the normal approach would be, how can you just see somebody in the morning, you won't say good morning? What's the problem? But I started greeting him. God just said, do whatever you want your partner to do for you. Take the initiative and do it for them. And so I'd wake up in the morning and say, "Good morning, honey." He was sometimes, I walk past. Or, and I kept doing this. So one morning he woke up and said to me, "Good morning, baby," and kissed me on the forehead. I say this thing they work.
All right. So let's talk. You're about to say something about that.
Oh yes, she made a very good point, and I like that example that she brought up. And I also listened. Oh, by the way, sorry. When I was typing, I was actually running around Austin today. After school, I have to do my up and down since I'm off,
Right.
so I couldn't join then. So coming back to Mrs. Mildred, she made a very valid point. That what she described there is what I called couples tradition. I call it couples tradition, and I appreciate. I tell my friends about it that you should have a kind of ritual that you and your wife
right,
do both practice. That is what binds you together. You feel me now? So, and like she said, when I first saw that video, I laughed and I sent it to my wife because we do this on daily basis. And yes, it's part of us. We've been doing it for almost
ages.
I can't even recall. But you said something there that caught my attention, and I was actually clapping when you said it, but you know, go see me that time. Chidima, they pressed my neck in the comment. So you said something that it takes time before couple gets to that point whereby their expectations are being reciprocated. I caught that. You said sometimes it might take 3 years.
It might take a while
before your partner key to it.
Yep.
Did I miss it?
No, that was it. Depending on what we're talking about, it takes time.
Yes.
If it's not their normal behavior, if it's an expectation on your part, it's going to take time. And within that period of time, that process will create a lot of friction and frustration.
So, and I just wanted to allude to that using my personal experience. You see, during the first 5 years that me and my wife started living together in America, we went through hell together. We've been through all the circles of basketballs that couples can have. The only thing we do not have, the only thing that was missing in our basketballs was cheating. There is nothing like cheating, but every other thing. I'm a Lagos boy.
You dragged it.
A Lagos girl. So Agidipo, we fight.
Agidipo.
But then the moment God steps in and I step out of my own domain ego as our masculine, my sister Chioma, film girl, is not here. Make I borrow her English. The moment I step out of my masculine and I feel like, okay, I'm in America now. If me and this woman keep on going like this, we're gonna crash, and it's not gonna be good for either of us. So I talked to one of my uncle that still happens to be one of my best uncle from another mother, and all he preached to me was patience.
Yeah,
because I'm the type that if I come to you right now and say, hey, MOP, I'm having problem in my marriage, something is happening, I will tell you everything without taking anything out. What I did, what I said, what my partner said, I will tell you everything so that you will have the full story like you always requested. So Uncle told me that, Ben, I see where you're going and I've listened to everything you said. From everything you said, I did not see anywhere you call your wife a bad woman, or you said maybe your wife is doing something really bad. What you just have is that you are not understanding each other. What you want and what your wife wants is not just, the goal is not aligning. So you are the man, you have to be patient. Just be patient. Just be patient. So the uncle taught me that, and then I embrace it. It's one thing to teach somebody something, and it's another for the person to accept it. So just like you'll be preaching here, that was one skill that I learned earlier.
You have to learn it by first.
The skill came through for us. So I got patient. So this coming to this Mildred point, while we were having that basketballs, what I kept doing was that every morning before I get out of bed, my wife is the first person I kiss. Then I'll go to my kids' room. Then we were living in an apartment. I would kiss them. Sometimes I would just lie between my kid and all that. So I kept doing that every day. No matter how we fight or every argument, I make sure I kiss her every morning. First thing.
Yeah.
Feel me? Then I later transferred that to evening. I work evening shift, she works morning shift. So by the time I get home, she will be sleeping already. Once I come in the house, dash into the shower, come out, the next thing, if I don't kiss her in the lips, I'll kiss her in the forehead. So I kept doing that. Then one day I was off and my wife woke up as usual, going to work. I felt something on my lips like 3 times. I'm a deep sleeper. Let me just tell on myself now.
Like what did happen? Abi is this a dream? And they say you must never kiss a person in the dream.
Yeah. So that day in my lips like 3 times. So when I later wake up, I feel like, am I dreaming? Did somebody just kiss me? When you feel like say enemy don't come. You know. Then the next day, when she was leaving again, she did the same. This time I was somehow awake, so I knew she was kissing me in the lips. You know, that just shot back. You know, she did it like twice,
right?
And then she left. I couldn't believe it, brother. I couldn't believe it. So by around then, I text her like, "Hey, did you kiss me this morning before you went to work?" And she just sent me laughing emoji, you know, because I knew it's kind of strange to her too.
Yeah,
right. Laughing emoji. Then I jokingly told her, "Omo, you be like say you don't change, you. Hey." And let me
random kissy before you go to work and strange.
So let me just be vulnerable a little bit here. I said the one thing that a lot of Nigerian men said. So I said, if other want to call me, like, I'm being honest now. So I said, it's like somebody has been teaching you, you know, because it's new to me.
It's new. It's a new experience.
You know? So I'm just saying this to buttress your point that if you keep on doing something for the longest, after a while, your partner will start, you know, coming around, start reciprocating that. And since then till now, we don't miss it every day. We fight or we no fight. It's
because it's a ritual. We go fight, we go kiss, go you lot we'll come back.
So that's what I wanted to point out with that Mildred clip, in line with the goals you set here, which is expectation. So sometimes a lot of people have expectations, but then are you going to be patient with your spouse come around? That's just what I'm going to say.
Absolutely.
You be that patient that, okay, let me keep on doing my part. At the point with this man respond, with this lady, you know, reciprocate. That's just it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, cool. Let's jump into, that was a nice one. Honestly, obviously we agree on that. It's when you're in the middle of it. Even Natu said, because Natu is a follower of Pastor Mildred. Even she said, I wish there's a little bit more spelling out of the process from when you decide you want to be given to when the results start to show. Everything in life is in seasons. When you sow, you expect that there will be a season of watering, protecting it before you harvest, right? Yeah. And then there will be a season that is completely out of season, and then you have to come back next year to do that again, you know. But yeah, let's talk about this other stuff. This was the comment you made earlier while we were talking about the 50-50 thing. You said fairness is paramount at times, Baba. Okay, you made quite a few statements. I want to get some clarity on what you meant. Let's not just analyze issues from the angle that men are corporate all the time. Okay, you also said waiting for your scenario on how women can make their husband demand 50%. Okay, I want to get some clarity on that as well. Then men under attack again, bro. I guess we're saying the same thing. Same thing. Is that what you think MOP does? Chindima is asking you, is that what you think MOP does? And they said, that's how it sounds. Chidima, you answered her. And then she goes, is Ola not a man himself, or it sounds to you like he's pandering to women? And then you go, MOP gave only one scenario when the man is wrong. So let's get some clarification. Let's rub minds together here on this 50-50 of a thing. This angle at least.
Yes. Okay. First of all, I think Chidima probably don't get my stance when I left that comment. Now, just to clarify that, I am not saying MOP is pandering towards women. No, that is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this, based on the subject matter. You remember when we spoke about that video of how women think and how men think?
Right.
I believe you took time to see the video, right?
No, I didn't see the video, but I'm already aware there's many theories around that. I actually agree with that.
Oh,
that
yeah.
men and women are different.
Yeah, you still have to watch the video. It's just about 5 minutes, but it makes absolutely
I'll take a look.
sense.
Repost it for me again. I'll watch it later on.
Yes, I think Film Girl sent that video then. So it makes a lot of sense. So the thing is that women brain are connected. That's just the whole thing about the video. Like women can connect one issue to another and another, and then before you know,
the rabbit hole.
Yeah, just one thing a man said, the woman can connect it to so many things, and then it will explode. And whereas for us as men, our brain is made up of
just that one thing.
Block. You know, ice block. You know, hey, those ice cube. That's how our brain works. It's like in our brain we have several ice cube around our brain, and
they are compartmentalized into.
Yeah. So if a man want to treat one issue, he will go into his brain and bring out that box that has that
issue. Don't connect it to other things. We're talking about this one,
and then he will drop it. But for a woman, when you bring out that box and you drop it, hey, the woman will now begin to diagnose.
That's what I call 200,000 Nollywood movies. She will create 200,000 Nollywood movies from one issue.
So that was it. Now, when I said, okay, here we go again, men are being attacked, it's not like you. It's based on the scenario that you used. When you started out,
right?
You were explaining what Bro Samolu said.
Yes.
How we came about the 50-50 discussion and how he proceeded how he proceeded.
It was actually a conversation between me and him in the chat.
Yes, and that the same way you later think that, okay, I think this guy, the way he put it makes sense. That's how he occurred to me, and that's why I asked him to do a show on that. Now, when you started, you painted a scenario of a man who's demanding that his wife should bring 50-50.
Yes.
I can't recall exactly how you explained the scenario, but that's just what it meant.
That was what it was. Yes, absolutely.
The man is requesting that his wife do 50-50. So after you finish with that scenario, because you are a coach, a relationship coach.
Wait, check this out. They said the men's favorite box is the nothing box. There's nothing inside of it. I need to see that video.
Oh, you got to see. It's just 5 minutes.
So the men's favorite box is nothing inside of it. There's no issues, basically.
Yeah. Among all those boxes we have, there is a particular box where we can just be in space. We are thinking of nothing.
Like just
and that is us. Is Chidima the one who said that? I think.
Yeah,
Chidima is really good at paying attention, though, man. I love
her. She is. Yeah.
So that's what happened. So the main favorite box is the empty box, and that's why sometimes we behave like women. That's why sometimes. We can have a discussion with a woman now. By tomorrow, when she says
it's over
about what we spoke about yesterday, the man will be like, "Oh, yesterday."
Yeah, what did we talk about again? What did we talk about again? And I said, "You're not paying attention. You never pay attention to me or anything I have to say."
Yes. So coming to the conversation you were having, I was expecting that after you describe a scenario whereby a man is demanding 50-50, 50%, whatever it is, I was expecting you're going to paint a second scenario whereby even though the man is doing everything as he's supposed to do, there are still some women that won't be in that space whereby they will say, you know what, I'm a helper. Let me step up. So, but when you did not paint that scenario and your analysis took off from that one scenario of a man who is expecting the wife to bring 50-50, that's why I'm like, okay, here we go, men is under attack. Where is the second scenario? Because I believe as a coach, you should at least educate us on both scenarios. Right now, we have how many people watching? Yeah, right now we have about 20. Yeah,
16, 20, something like that. Yeah.
Like that. So now, all these 20 people watching, they are not all women. There are men there who are quiet, just listening.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that's why I just felt compared that, okay, Baba, you should have do us a favor, giving the man scenario, also give us a scenario of a woman who don't get it, that such women can actually push a man to the point whereby your man is demanding 50-50. So that's why I made that comment. Now, coming to my stance on this matter, I would like to say this first and foremost. 50-50 is a Western thing. In fact, I started hearing discussion about 50-50 now only when TikTok became something where everybody goes there to spew nonsense.
Yes. Everybody have a 10 minutes opinion.
Oh, everybody.
It used to be 1 minute opinion.
Now you can go there and just say whatever you want to say. That's when I start hearing 50-50. And based on my knowledge, I may be wrong. Somebody can correct me in the comment, and you too, you can do that, Brola. Based on my understanding,
right,
the culture of 50-50 has been part of the Western world for the longest. It happens in their dating. When a boy takes a girl out, sometimes they expect the girl to pay part of the bills. Am I wrong?
Well, I'm not well educated on that, to be honest.
Oh,
but the traditional man existed among the culture of British, right? The monarchy culture thing, the patriarchy thing. Now we both create them now, you know. So they have, in that respect, if I was to link it to anything, just, you know, I don't like using common sense because I think common sense is common. Everybody has it. I like to do some more education behind. Yeah, but if I was to go by common sense, Oyibo people, if you go to Utah, you still see some of them practicing it. They provide, protect, and they did, you know, they didn't do the 50-50 thing in that respect. Men built this, the infrastructure of this society, the physical infrastructure. It's men that built it. You see what I'm saying? And the woman was at home. They practiced everything traditional too. But you might say the westernization, they were obviously leading the wave of westernization, which is what's spreading to more traditional zones in the world, like Africa or Middle East right now. You might say that. But honestly, I'm not well educated enough to say they've been doing 50-50 for the longest. Now, in the terms of mindset, as in 50-50, if you said the African American, I would still need to be educated more on that too. But I think that's more, it's more like the African American rhetoric that I've heard them say. You know, that the man is always trying to compete with the woman, maybe because of the fallout of the family structure, because of the systems, you know, all these things that I can't really relate with, but I can only educate myself over time. So I don't know, you know. But remember, I talked about my grandpa and my grandma. Were you here when I talked about that, or you weren't paying attention?
Yeah, I heard that too.
So our parents, even in our culture, they just don't paint the picture in public. They've always supported their husband with money, sometimes as much as 100% of all the money. Let me support my husband. They will drop it, because they know they are going through a season. I'm speaking Yoruba, sorry. Right? Maybe something has eaten up the whole farm for the year, and it's going to be a tough year for Baba. Right? The wives they do support. You know, what we're talking about is the writing it down on paper, and it's a rule that in this household we do 50-50. That's what we were talking about, and that's what the conversation has become on TikTok.
Yes, and my take is this. I believe now I've clarified where my comments are coming from. You get me now, right?
Yeah, I get you. The other part is that I didn't come up with a scenario. of where
Yes.
do
Yes. I
with
was
respect to
expecting
that. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah,
No,
I
no,
was
go
expecting
ahead.
you to. I was expecting you immediately. You painted the scenario of a man demanding 50-50, which is absolutely crazy and nonsense as far as I'm
You
concerned.
don't agree with that already, personally,
Yeah,
naturally.
I don't believe in that. It's crazy. It's Western stuff that I don't buy into. Now, I was expecting you to also give us a scenario or an example of a situation that can make a man actually say, okay, you know what? My wife, if as a woman, if you are behaving like this, if you are greedy or you are selfish, if you are not aware or if you are not financially aware that okay, this dude might be going through something financially, let me step in, and you keep on doing that consistently, guy might get to a point whereby he will say, you know what, I can't come and buy myself. We got to do something about this finances. How much you gonna be bringing every month? So I was expecting you to bring that scenario up. Then now, when you go ahead and analyze how any man who is expecting 50-50 could be wrong, which is not the way to go, and which I believe you did justice to that.
Right.
I'll also be expecting you to come up and also address that angle, because it's easy for thank God that it's like my skin is thick. No matter how people see me or perceive me, I don't really take it to heart. I just look
It's
at
not
it
that deep for you.
Yeah, so I can publicly talk about these things without thinking that maybe people would think I would like pay, but boy, now, yeah, now I was expecting that you come back and say, okay, here is the thing. We know that the man is a leader. There could be issues in the home that warrant a woman not to support the man. And it's absolutely wrong for a man to demand that bring 50-50, 60-40, 30-50, 30-70, whatever mathematical application they want to apply to it. But these are the situations that, or these are the behavioral pattern that if you as a woman, you exhibit, it can actually warrant a man to say, you know what, I need you to contribute to so percentage in the house. That is just the thing. It's not as if maybe I'm saying, oh, Ola, you did this, you did. No, I'm just saying as a coach, because there are a lot of people on social media now who are saying they are relationship expert, relationship coach, marriage counselor, and everything. And at the end of the day, when you listen to what they are saying, all you have to do is check the statistics of their channel. You will see that women are like 60%, 70% of their followers. So they have to say things that at least we appease to the women, and they go on and on. But for me, I believe what you're doing here is great. You are finding solutions. You are making things work. We have to look at it from both angles.
No, time will tell now. Time will tell.
With just one narrative that will make women feel like, yes, men are like, all men are not like that.
No, here's the thing.
No?
Time will tell. Let me address the issues, right?
Okay, boss man.
One issue at a time. Time will tell. We're only 5,000 subscribers here. On an average, I have 16 to 20 people watching live. Sometimes we can go as high as 30, sometimes I've done live sessions here where it's as low as 7, even in the 5,000 subscribers. So it just, only time will tell. We're still working, and we're learning as we're going. You feel me? So, but here's what I'll tell you, right? Is it wrong for a man to demand? Let's first of all address that. No, it is not wrong for a man to demand. It is not even about that. The real question is that when a man demands, does he create the result he's looking for? That's actually the question. When he demands 50-50, is he going to accomplish or achieve that result? The chances he will achieve that result is almost none. It will get worse. Right? She might even shy away from telling you the truth in that way. She will just learn. And we know this from handling so many cases, right? She will just, there's a reason, there's an underlying reasons why she's hiding from even helping you in the first place. There's a reason why she's so disconnected from knowing that my husband needs help. There's always a reason. And of course, the reason could be she's just an evil woman. if you see straight up an evil woman, there's only one thing to do. Like you said earlier on, you can call lawyer and disconnect from that woman. Because if you engage that demanding thing as a strategy, it's just going to work. Because that's only addressing the surface level issue. She will just learn better ways to hide her money. And by the way, she probably already built 3 houses in Lekki. Sorry. You see what I'm saying? So it's not that it's never really about if it's right or wrong. It's about, can you create the right in your own standard, not my standard, in your own standard as an individual who is in the middle of this scenario. Can you create the right result based off of your own right and wrong standard? You know, that's really what it comes down to. Now, as a coach, my job is to listen, right? My job is to seek clarification, to seek understanding. So if I see a comment in the chat, I'm not going to make an assumption. Like when you say men under attack again, bro, I'm not going to make any assumption. Regardless of what the track records might be, I don't make assumptions. This is this issue. Remember, we're men. One box, there's one issue inside it. We're going to deal with this issue, right? I'm not going to assume it's the issue from yesterday or 2 days ago. That's now my expectation of what a man is supposed to be. Deal with one issue, one at a time. That doesn't mean that men don't connect issues too. We're just talking in generals, right? Men can also connect issues. Like, for example, you said earlier, it seems like we just speak to one scenario. It seems that way because I'm addressing these issues from a standpoint of a man being the leader of the household, right? And I say, hey, as a leader, if you really think that this woman is evil, you can dismiss her honorably. You can say, this is not going to work. You remain the leader. You remain the person with the agency, the autonomy of the direction of your life. Now, the particular issue we're discussing, which is 50-50, right? That tends to come from one angle. You're absolutely correct. It's a man who is frustrated with finances and he's seeking help, but he's going about it the wrong way. The strategy is not going to work. Okay? That strategy of demanding is not going to work. He's going to, because how did we end up here in the first place? Oftentimes, you have a situation where he made all of the financial decisions that got them there, oftentimes. Right? Because if she was the only one that made the decision that end them up in that space, which can happen. Like sometimes you have a woman who is comparing herself to her friends and say, we must buy a house too. We too, like our friends in church, we must buy a house. Sometimes we have that too. But if I have to blame anybody for that, if we have to use the word blame and fault, where was the man when this decision was being made? Right? So if you already find yourself in such potter where unfortunately you fell for it, you bent, and now you bought a house, and it was your wife that pressurized you to it. Guess what you still need to learn in order to get out of that situation? Communication skills, a vision, and how to communicate that vision. Hey babe, we're in this situation already. Full ownership. There's a book called Extreme Ownership. It's a good book to read. Right? It's more so about business, but it's also applicable here, right? We're partners, we're one. We found ourselves in here, but here's my vision, babe. Right? And then communicating that vision. And then communicating that vision with the managed expectations around that and being able to see it all the way through fruition. That's different from demanding. That's a different strategy from demanding. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying anybody is sitting down somewhere and saying, I demand 50, they work anyway. But either you do it directly or indirectly. If it smells anything like you're competing against your wife, if it smells like it, they can sniff it. All right? It's just not going to create good fruit. And that's where I'm coming from. Instead, one vision, communicating that vision. You won't have to tell her when she will say, okay, babe, I have this money on the side for us, for rainy days. This makes sense. Oh, babe, but I already had this other plan. Oh, that would be the nature of the conversation. It won't be a situation where, well, I'm just looking for what is fair and equity. That's a terrible language in a marriage. That's just a terrible language in a marriage. That's problematic. if we have to be talking about fairness, that means you're already in the poto already, and you're digging deeper.
If that fairness is coming from who?
From any side.
Okay, good.
Any side. I push these ladies. Some of these my sisters here. Maybe before you got here, but Ben. Some of these my sisters here. They don't drag me, oh. This fairness is a real thing that they drag me about. There's no such thing. You can't bring that into marriage. You have to demolish all the way down to foundation. Why are we talking about fairness when we're supposed to be one? Sure, you can try to plug and copy paste fairness on top of your marriage, but it's already in love and war. It's all is fair. It's already fair. There's something happening behind it. There's the X factor that you're not addressing. You're trying to do the equal thing. Even when it comes to the word respect here, they've pushed against me here. Said the respect thing, they will say no, a woman deserves respect. So I say it's a different respect. It's just a different conversation. We're not talking about the same thing. Of course, a woman deserves respect. That child that's walking across that street deserves respect. Is that the one you're talking about? Well, that's not the one we're talking about when we talk about a typical man craves respect. What we're talking about is the validation, him being a leader. He wants to feel like the king, right? And when you know that as a woman, you're able to seduce him with that. There are stories everywhere, Asian stories, that indicate this. You're able to literally make him your puppet just by making him feel like the king. So this conversation we're not done. We're going to keep going, right? So if you hear me say 50-50, I'm tackling it from one side because it tends to come from one side. The side it's coming from is where a man will say, well, she should be able to detect. If she's not detecting that, there are deeper issues, is my point. So hopefully I've been able to convince you. How does Auntie B say? Convince you, and then, I didn't do debates when I was in secondary school, so sorry.
No, actually, this is not a debate, I just want us to have like a balanced rhetorics, because
look at what Film Girl said. She said MOP dragged us. I got angry and left. Then I came back when I was ready to listen. You see?
Yeah, I'm just saying, just like the reference we are making now, when we are addressing these issues, as much as you address it from the point of a man who is a mugopak, who don't have skills, there's also the need to address it from the standpoint of a woman.
Good point.
Who lacks the same skills, because this is internet, and on YouTube space right now, there is a lot of competition. Some people will see just one clip.
No, let's do it.
And that one clip will just make them I can't even count how many people I watch just one of their videos, and
you make an opinion.
I just keep,
and that's that's fine, right? We all do that now. That's fine now. But give me a scenario where a woman is asking for 50-50 from women. I actually have one in my head, but I want you to give me, and where I told them like, no, that's not the issue. For 50-50.
No.
Give me a scenario.
It's not a scenario of woman asking for 50-50, and that's why when we started, I made it point blank that I started hearing 50-50 conversation in the ages of TikTok, and 50-50 conversation is Western. It's not our thing. We do know that there are some men back in our own Africa, Nigeria, that even in some homes, the women carry 80% of the financial burdens. There are some homes like that. And there are some men back in Nigeria too, some part of Africa, that they are so lazy, they trample upon their wives. The wife will be the one working, they will be the one taking care of the home. The man will even be going around with his Odogun craziness.
It's I remember that was part of the conversation. He's coconuted that he got it, but in reality he doesn't got it.
Yes, but I don't know, for me living in America, I found myself in a space whereby I usually try to set aside narrative that is applicable and suitable to Americans from the one that is applicable to we Africans. Where sometimes I have issue is when somebody who is an African, say a Nigerian for instance, is trying to apply the Western ideology to their relationship, hook,
Right.
line, and sinker. Don't get me wrong, please. We
No, I'm
can't
listening.
deny, whether we like it or not, both Western culture and African culture is now being intertwined. It's mixed together now. But there are still some areas of this culture, some aspect of Western cultures that is not applicable to us, and there's some aspect of our culture that is a mess. Are you feeling me now? So when we are discussing topics that originated from the Western world, and I see either men or women taking a stand and try to judge an African person from the perspective of that westernized ideology, then now I have an issue.
Now you have an issue.
Because it's like, one thing I do say, although now, because I have a lot of sisters now from another mom, sometimes I'll just say, you know what, Ben, don't just say something, judge you. One thing I do tell women before is this, or man, when I see them go into this Western narrative, I'll just tell them point blank, with your mentality, you don't need to marry an African.
Right.
That's what I just tell them.
And there's a lot of truth to that, by the way. There's a lot of truth to that. There's a lot of truth to that.
If this is what you believe, if this is what you expect from your partner, and it's not about women, it goes both ways. I've seen some Western guys there now. I've seen some Nigerian men now that when it comes to money, they are nitpicking. Or how do you people say that grammar? Chidima, borrow me one grammar. Like, you know how,
like they're frugal, one roro.
Like, we Nigerians, you know how we do our thing as men. We are ballers. We want to spend money, you know. Some of our Nigerian men now here in the Western world, they are now into, I can't spend that money. A sister told me a story. I was shocked that she went to store with her husband to do grocery, and everything she bought for food is not even outside, it's for their children. They have like 4 kids. When she bought everything in the store, and as they are getting to the cashier, the husband just moved back. The husband stayed back, and even the man at the store, because it's an African store, the man look at the husband weird somehow, like, really? And then the husband now come around and say, she's my bank, she's my bank. When she told me, I'm like, oh Lord Jesus, what kind of man is this? So the point I'm trying to make is that some of our men are even embracing this westernized idea. The whole
let's pick one point.
What I'm saying is this. If you want to go with Western ideas, marry a Westerner. He will understand you. You people will not have problem. But don't try to marry an African woman with a Western mentality. Could it work? And as a woman, don't try to marry an African man with a Western mentality. Could it work? And like I've always said, we have millions and thousands of marriage counselor, guardianship, therapist, everything.
Yeah, but the Bible says by their fruits, right?
I just want to land this. We have all of them now, and still the rate of single people, both men and women, is still as this high.
Right.
It's because people don't understand where they are and how to understand how to relate with their partner. That's just the point I'm trying to make. So 50-50 is not our thing. It shouldn't even factor into our discussion. But when we came here and we started living in America, and we now find ourselves in this, let me use my accent again, in this portopoto, that you are going to struggle as a man. If you are not up there, you're not making that 6-figure and above, and you are trying to do odogun, you go collect. And now
I saw that film girl today. I saw that. Go ahead.
And now we also have women, our own women now, who have come up with this mentality that some, not all the good ones are not like that, but a lot of women now who also come into mentality that, hey, you are a Nigerian man now, spend the money, spend. Some of them are greedy. We can't deny that. Some women are selfish. It doesn't matter how much, how sweet or how far you treat them. When it's time for them to step up, they won't step up nothing, and you will be drowning. I quite agree that the man approach might be wrong. Maybe he don't really know how to go about it. But right now, some home are applying the same. How much do you bring? for us to survive. I've lived through all these experiences. At the point when I was going through mine, the way I just tell my madam, babe,
we need
you
something.
already know what I earned. This is our expenditure.
Koto,
And
you know the maths.
Yeah.
The math is not
And
maths.
you don't understand that as a man, I have people I have to take care of too. I have my own financial needs too.
Right.
You know me, I love saving. I love having my own money. But with the situation on ground, I can't do that. If we continue like this, you know me, I know they fight too.
Yeah.
I'm out of the marriage, JJ. There is no time to fight. You know, so I just want us to look at all those other nuances. We can't just go and say, oh man, do this. There are some women, even if you love them tomorrow, pamper them, shower them with everything. The one way no go support, forget it. Even if you are faithful from here to tomorrow, they won't do jack. Let's just be honest. So it's easy to throw every man under or to put every man under the same basket. Oh, if your wife is not coming up, spending, upsetting you are not doing the right thing. Brother, there are plenty men that are doing the right thing, but some women naturally, the way they were trained, the way they were raised, they don't know how to step up.
I think so. So we're going back in circles to that, right? And I want to address it. I want to make sure I address it, right? This was the point you made. Waiting for your scenario of how women can make their husband demand 50%. All right. So, and I want to align it with the understanding you just gave me, right? Which is a case where the man is doing everything in his power, right? Yes. But the woman is either the way she was raised or something. She's not a helpmate. That is not a wife. What you're talking about is simply not a wife, right? If there was a thing as throwing the woman under the bus with assumption, that should be it, right? She belongs right under that bus. She's not a wife. You see what I'm saying? That scenario is very simple. She does not know how to help when it's time to help. There are possible reasons for that. There are many, many possible reasons for that. We already talked about one of them. She just wasn't raised like that. Another one could be she's not aware that this man needs help like that, or she doesn't believe or trust him that he actually needs the help, right? There could be many, many reasons why that is happening, okay? For his own good, he needs to downsize. Because one thing we know is that you cannot control what other human beings do, either man or woman. It doesn't matter. Now, back to the point of, we are looking at westernized world and the African or traditional world, right? Yep. And this 6 basic needs is what I have to say about that. And let me explain it, okay? The 50-50 thing is not about the numbers. It's about the spirit of competition between husband and wives. That does exist in our culture too. There are men that are not competent. It's always been in our culture, and they've always lost their wife also to other men too. Sometimes they lost their wife to other men that has his own wives at home already too. My grandpa, some of my step grandmothers are actually other people's wives that ended up in his household. Okay. Another story for another day. Okay. that has always, sometimes they lost their husband, maybe the husband died early or something, but all these different scenarios have shown up in every culture. What we're talking about here on Man of Prestige is multicultural across the board. Now, sometimes being westernized can mean we're learning more about the way we function as human beings from an emotional standpoint, and we're trying to unlearn some of the stuff that just didn't work. Sometimes we call that westernization. Well, welcome to the real world. We're progressing, we're learning more about ourselves. We will continue to learn more about ourselves on what works and what doesn't work. These 6 basic needs is what everybody needs at any point in time. Certainty, a sense of security. Number 2, varieties. Yes, even though she wants certainty, she wants to kind of know that the future is good. She also likes varieties, a little surprise here and there. I'm saying she, but it's the same is true for men too, right? Sometimes we want a little variety. Women generally bring that into our world, right? We set the tone, they create the home out of it, right? Which is what Steve was talking about when he said 85-15. When it comes to the home, typically that's the woman's space. I've seen men, like you said, try to do westernized and competing with the woman on what color they should pick for the curtains in the living room.
I won't worry.
they because they are over interpreting this whole thing, right? They don't know when to just leave that. Let the woman worry about that now. You can have an input. That's not the issue here. We're not saying you shouldn't have an input. But when it starts becoming basketballs, maybe you are overstepping, a certain, down to the point that you're losing respect in the conversation. Like, is it that deep? How about go and sleep? You talk about it tomorrow again. Babe, I just feel like I prefer blue. Okay, let's find it. It's the way you have the conversation. It's not about the particulars of it, right? Significance. Women want to feel the most significant in your world. You want to feel the most significant in her world. You want to feel validated. You call it respect. She calls it love.
Yeah.
Right? Connection. You want to feel like you're connected on the same page from time to time. The moment you start losing that, that's when you will find the easiest thing to point fingers at. One of the easiest things to point fingers at is finance. Because if we are that connected, this conversation is not that deep. Babe, this is like you said earlier on, this is what we are, how much I make, that would be the conversation. It won't be a matter of 50-50 or not. It's not a number again. It's about the spirit of competition between husband and wife.
Yeah.
The spirit of competition will camouflage as holiness. It will camouflage as fairness and equity. That's the devil. The devil does not show up as black angel falling out of heaven. He shows up as nice little English accent words that makes sense on paper. Before you know, he will eat up that relationship completely.
Yes, sir.
Growth. Everybody wants to be a part of something that's growing, right? This is true across the board. No matter what culture you go to, they might not know how to get to each one of these 6 things, but that's the goal of everybody.
Yeah.
Right? And of course, contribution. Women also want to feel like they contribute to your life. It feels good, especially when they know, like, I was there to help him. The helpmate thing, we have some feminists pushing against that these days. But in reality, women love it when they can claim that they were really a helpmate. When you can say, hey, behind every successful man, right, it's a good woman. And the wife that we're talking about is actually right there, listening to that. There's nothing that feels sweeter to them unless there are other issues. Maybe they don't collect woto and now they are trying to fight patriarchy. That's a different story entirely. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So there's context to all of this. I just wanted to speak to the culture and westernization thing, right? I'm here for the conversation. We're gonna keep having it, right? But
brother, I'm really enjoying the conversation, but your time zone is different from mine. I have
I'm later now. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I'm at 10 p.m.
I have 3 assignments I have to turn in within 2 hours. So I'm gonna be listening in the background, and I'll be glad to come back anytime we're gonna have the conversation. Just that
we'll do more. I'm back now. We'll do more. Yeah. The conversation cannot end today. You know that now.
So thank you very much for understanding and the clarity. And to my sisters, I'm just trying to see how we can have a fair level playground in you.
I understand. It's still okay to say fairness. It's just that if I smelled, I will kick against it.
Yeah.
It's not about the words. It's about the spirits that I smell behind them, and then we'll tackle them. Thank you, my boss.
On these things, thanks, man of Brazil. Chidima, Sister Natu, Film Girl, Sister Chiye. Thank you, guys. I'll be listening, Baba. Thanks for the opportunity.
No problem. We'll talk soon. Go and do that work. All right, later. All right. Let me just finish with the chat. and we'll call it a day, because some things are changing over here. We're going to places. We're doing big things. I'm so excited, but I want to get back to some plans too, just like Brother Ben, so that we can make sure we're showing up here on time. Over the next 24 to 48 hours, I'll give you the new schedule. Our time is going to go back to 5 p.m. Okay, 5 p.m. on certain days of the week, or the days we pick, and then we're gonna continue our usual, you know. But let me see what you guys are. Shout out to AG Ohio. AG Ohio, you've not told me if you're a man or woman. No, tell me. I'd like to know if possible. Please, can we have examples of this Western mentality, bro Ben? He will give us next time. Next time. One of my friends' dad does that. Wallahi, he would never go to the store with his card. Exactly. Like, if you're taking me to the store, you have your plans, right? But we can't really claim that these days. You can pay with your phone, right? At least where I'm at. I wish we lived in closer proximity. It would be nice to hang out, ladies. Listen, if you guys can pull that off, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Because we're trying to build a community here of real people, not just digital people. Life on that, I would just drop the groceries and leave the store. That's a fallacy argument, Beno, saying we have more marriage coaches, yet more divorces. We have more medical technology now, plus scientific breakthrough, yet a lot more diseases. So what does this prove? Nothing, essentially. That's a good point to pick. But I bet we shall for us next time. Whoa, the F species is being torn to pieces. That not good. Not a good attitude. Not working to make a marriage work, instead walking out, JJ. That's not nice. Listen, it depends. Context matters. I was just addressing Brother Ben. Context matters. I feel you, women of prestige, hang out will be great. Love it, love it. Okay, I hear his point here. Ben is saying MOP template or strategy won't work for all guys in that situation. It just all depends. It's not really a template. It's results based. Everything I say are results based. Not that your tactical strategy are wrong or right. It's about ask yourself. Never mind me. Remove me out of the picture. Ask yourself, would this strategy work? Go for it. Okay. Better yet, has this strategy worked? If it's working, keep doing what you're doing, right? But these topics are landing because something is not working. So results-based oriented solutions, essentially. I have no problem supporting my husband, but if it's excuse to help people outside, I no go give. Where your number one priority. See, the conversation is becoming now of vision. If he's going to help people outside, if he's terrible at selling you that vision, because that's a vision. If he's terrible at selling you that vision, that conversation is not that easy. It's not going to be as simple as you just accept because you're a helpmate. No, that conversation will be like pulling teeth. I won't give you my money to be doing odogu outside wahala. Again, is true variety the same as spontaneity? Yes, very similar in that respect. Yes. Spontaneity, variety, just, just not logical, just beautiful. Not that logical stuff. Okay, we all want that. We all want to see that, and women tend to bring that into our world. But anyway, let's see. One guy I met here was begging me for rent. Film guy. After sending all his money to his late sister's kids, he works over 80 hours a week. I backed out because I know I can't do long term. Yeah, that's crazy. Your grandpa, that also means you were already on the edge though, because typically if you are emotionally connected to that person, you will do it, you will justify it. Now, depending on your level of intentionality with this stuff, of course. Your grandpa was a rolling stone. Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he goes was home. What can I say? It's a stop it. Men that count the meat in the pot for how long it should go, 2 days or 3 days. That is crazy. That person cannot have peace of mind. While they are doing the right thing. They're still right. They're still right, but... I don't know. I better go do assignment, brother Ben. No, I have hung out with Adana and Chidima, and it was heaven. Really? Can't wait. Wait, isn't Adana in New Jersey? There's an Adana in New Jersey, right? can't wait to meet Chinye and the rest. All right, we'll set something up. We'll talk about that, okay? Behind the scenes, we'll set something up. And if you want to be a part of that, just join the backstage. Join the backstage. We have the backstage at whatsapp.manofprestige.com. Okay, whatsapp.manofprestige.com. Join the backstage. Okay, we'll set something up very soon. Okay, Adana is in New Jersey. Hey, you're coming to hang out with Adana. And then, how did you guys do that? All right, let's set something up. Okay, if you're interested in that, again, join the backstage. Let's make it a family. Let's make it a community. Let's not miss out. Okay. All right. Shout out to all of Una. Thank you so much. Shout out to the sponsor of the show today. We have two sponsors. That's Chidima, $20. Life with Natu, $10. I appreciate you, ladies. Thank you so much for supporting the show. We have some work to do. Okay. Tonight, I'm going to go rest some more. I got some work in the morning. I got some plan to set out forth so we can build this baby over the next 6 months here. We have the other baby that we're building too. So we have some work in the plans. All right. So thank you so much. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified whenever we go live. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.